Going to try and finish the 27 budget. That'll be our main issue.
So moved.
Let's start out with the fund balances. Chime in, questions or comments as we go down. General fund looks good. Economic development looks good. Special lit keeps growing. Community corrections 1122 looks good. Cume Capital, Cume Bridge, both look good. Health down there 1159 and 1161. The health department all look good. Lit public safety 1170 looks healthy, and rainy day right at the bottom. Page 2 at 1213 is CASA, looks good. We keep, kind of monitor it. 1222 E911 is almost drained. 1233, 34. Those are the two jail lits, look good. The 1233, just a reminder, that's where we'll be taking the money for the new building out of it. 1235 is lit 911, and that's where we've added a couple of basis points. Drug court 2501, healthy. Page 3, behavioral court is solvent. 4616 is the big allocation fund. The big TIF fund looks healthy. And then we've got the combination of geo bonds and the other TIFs. They're all still have quite a bit of balance in the two older geo bonds. Page 4, 4700 self-insurance. I think we added the 400,000 to it. 4913 jury pay is solvent. And then the 5901, 5902, the health claims and the health reserve looks good.
Sorry, Mary, I'm stretching.
Page 5. 7201 is food and beverage, healthy. And then we have all the grants, including on the back page. So it all looks good. Unless somebody sees something.
I didn't.
Okay, let's get into the 27 budget, and you've got a summary sheet that Mary made for all of us. And looking at County General, we are above our 26 budget right now by $1,093,000. Our target was $1 million, so we're just a little bit over. Human capital is the only other one that I looked at pretty high, but Greg says it'll do it. Human capital. Yes. Okay. Okay, so getting into the budget then, let's go to economic development. There are two funds in economic development, 31,416 and 417, that Gary Poole has said we can take out of economic development and put it in a separate fund. He has got, I think, a grant to pay for that. Mary, you want to chime in?
It's the LMDD fund, which is the lane mile distribution.
So we'll be setting up a new fund.
But not very new. We
Yeah.
just received one.
Okay. So let's have a motion to,
So on the Economic Development Fund, I talked to both Randy Sorrell and Gary Poole. So my concern, the reason, I voted no both times on this one, and my concern was 31, 416, 417, but in reverse, it was not that I was concerned we were doing it, it was concerned that we were pushing that forward versus other roads like 5 West and 2 South, which have become a big issue, and it's in my district, obviously. And that's scheduled for next year, and I was trying to talk to Gary about how to move it forward, and he was explaining to me, and we sat down, he came and picked me up somewhere, we talked for a while, and I learned a lot from it, because I learned it's very hard with the work with NDOT to get that 80% funding and move it forward. But he's gonna try to, just to let everybody know, this is the part I'm getting to, he's gonna try to, at the end of 2027, like third or fourth quarter, to see if it can be moved up into that area. So he may come back and say we may need to do the 20%, and I'll push for it, obviously. But with that in mind, I would make a motion to approve 1112, and with the exception of the 39801, which is an economic development payment, being $10,000. Is that?
Yeah, what about the Penzi right away?
And the Penzi Trail right away being changed as stated before.
well, I think we should pay our dues.
That's what I said.
You would add that in?
That's my motion, to add that in.
Okay.
10,000.
Second?
I'll second it.
No, I can't.
Okay. Have you got that motion?
No, could we
Okay.
have that clarified?
Okay, sure, I can clarify. We're going to approve 1112 as is with the changes of the 31,416, 31,417 being moved out as we discussed previously just a few minutes ago. And with line item 39801, which is economic development payment, being the same 10,000 as it has been before.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Didn't have a second.
Opposed?
Who seconded
Thank
that?
you.
We had
I
3
did.
seconds.
Okay. Didn't hear it.
3 seconds, but I thought Jim was the first.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
He was.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I don't know what the, was there one opposition?
Yeah, it was 6-1.
Healy's the name.
6-1.
I'm opposed to the 10K for
So where's,
HEDC.
right, so where does that leave our total now? That added money back in general?
Okay. Then,
No, take that.
No, I mean,
look,
Oh, yeah, take that out.
take that out.
agenda. Then there's the Fund 1149, which is not a EDA, it's an economic development fee. This is the fee that the companies pay as part of their tax abatement. They pay 5% for economic development. It goes to HEDC. And for the year 27, that estimate is currently $683,000. That came from Nicole.
You have $645,140.20.
I did too, and then I talked with her yesterday.
Oh, she updated it.
She had left something out. I don't know
didn't tell
what it was.
So what was that new figure, 600?
Tissues.
685, or 683. And of course, we wouldn't pass more along than we get anyway, so that's just kind of amount, so.
And that's the money already, that's the 5% already done. Even if
Yeah.
you change the 5%, that's what they get.
Yeah,
Yeah, they'll only be able to claim for what deposits.
yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjust the budget for Fund 1149 to anticipated receipts amount of $683,000.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve Fund 1149 for up to $683,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Okay. Animal control.
Oh, where's that?
We had put in 405,000, but I think the commissioners have got a,
I don't know.
I
We have
assume,
an agreement that it's for 2 years.
you want to explain it?
When we negotiated through the city, the budget was more than they had anticipated, so we agreed to a 2-year contract, which was our preference, with outlining pricing for 2027 and 2028.
Are you using the usage of the unincorporated areas, or is this just a percent?
Just a percent, just as we've
Okay.
always done
So
it.
we're going to abandon the,
You know, we're not getting anywhere, and I think the best thing to do is, if council wants to approach the towns, that's great. I think the numbers will stand the same. It's not much money for any of the towns. So if you guys want to approach them, great, and negotiate with the towns. Otherwise, you know, my recommendation would be no animal control to that area.
so Greenfield refuses to kind of manage it then?
Yeah, and, you know, I don't blame them. They feel like it's ours to handle because we're bringing it to the table. They're concerned, their only concern is their contract with the county. That's how I understand it. But I think we've reached a really good deal for the next 2 years, so I was comfortable with that, and I think Bill and Gary were comfortable with that, even though I can't speak for them.
We're
And-
fine with it.
I have a question, and this may be going forward in terms of negotiating, I have some ideas on it, but my question, and it's okay in public venue, is can the county take control of it?
I don't think we'd want to do
I
that.
don't think you can afford it.
Well, there's some options coming up, and so that's why I was trying to,
Yeah, I don't think we'd want to do that.
but
you know.
legally, could we control it?
Absolutely.
Well, they've
You
got,
take your own.
we could, but
Okay.
they've got their building, they take care of the benefits, they pay the employees, they do all that. So, I don't know if that's one thing we want to add to our plate or not.
I would think, I'm no attorney, but I would think you can't take control of what is already theirs. You can start your own
Yeah.
and manage
They can
it.
sell out.
You're the attorney, so you can tell me, but I don't know how we
Well, yeah,
could
you
confiscate
you
their
could do your
building, their
own. You wouldn't be able
land,
to do theirs.
Or they
their
could get it, sell it.
assets,
You'd
right?
have to
Yes.
start over.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's their building.
You just have to start your own.
You'd have
Their
to build your
building,
own
their
building.
employees, they
Yes.
just provide our services to
building.
the unincorporated areas, and now some of those bigger unincorporated areas are no longer postage stamps on the map. They're
Yeah.
New
Do-
Pal.
It just
You'd
seems
find
to
more
me
people
that
that
with
don't belong.
Greenfield, we've got a
Bio.
one-way
clause not to do
deal
that.
going because they're not kicking in on senior services and,
That's
They're
correct.
not?
nope.
They haven't yet.
They haven't
They
yet.
have, they've not even paid 2026 yet.
Well, I mean, we could always consider reducing animal control by the amount that, you know what I'm saying? By the amount that Greenfield Seniors.
I don't want to
I
punish
don't think we wanted to get in that with our
I don't.
city. We've got a great relationship with them, and that would just be hanging ourselves with our own rope.
When these commitments are made, are they considered contractual, or are they just verbal? Yeah, we'll pitch in 50,000 to.
Contractual.
So.
It's all
With
verbal.
senior services, has
Verbal.
contractually, the city of Greenfield agreed to pay X number of dollars for the 20?
They have not.
So there's nothing even contractual with
No.
them, so.
But the commissioners could do a interlocal on senior services, right? Just
We
like
could.
animal.
We
control.
could, but you still got to get them to
Multi-year.
move.
Yeah.
So that's what,
They've not moved on what they promised last year, so I mean, I don't know what else we can do. Other than it go away.
Send them a bill.
Did they, so there was at least a verbal agreement on a portion for last year that was never paid? Is that what or it was received and
As
not
far as I know,
renewed?
they had an agreement to pay last year.
It
For
was paid to
2026.
senior services.
Yeah, directly.
Because it was ARPA money.
It was $150,000 that went directly to senior services, as Dept stated, ARPA money.
Okay,
And
so they did do what they
They
said they would do.
did, they did.
Okay.
It was a,
Done.
yeah, I think it was a one and done. So, if there needs to be negotiations, I mean, we all know, and Greenfield knows that 76% of the ride share come right out of the town, city of Greenfield. So, but we can't make them sign into an agreement if they feel like they can't afford it. I mean, I don't
I
know
would-
what to do.
I would hope the commissioners, though, would have a list of things that we are paying for them, because we pay 911, we paid a lot for animal control, that some of it's not ours, we pay senior services,
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security, there's a lot of things. And in the future, if there is requirements or requests from Greenfield for things that we get, then you can, you could say, well, we're already paying for this for you, so we're not going to give you this. Because that will come, there will be some of those,
Oh, I'm sure there will be,
yes.
so.
So eventually, maybe we can get some of it back.
I mean, the most we can do is try. I mean, we have, I
landing.
think we've worked really hard to repair a relationship with the city of Greenfield, and they are easy to talk to and sit down with and negotiate with. So, it may just take Gary going to city council and just bringing it to their attention. I don't know.
We could do that.
I mean, we're, if senior citizens got to, that's one thing that's a red line for me.
Well, I mean,
It gets paid.
it's equally
Okay.
important to everybody.
Yes.
So-
Absolutely, even though there's a lot of seniors in Greenfield, but it still has to be taken
Something
care
we have to have.
of.
Yeah.
Greenfield is within Hancock County, so,
Yeah.
I mean, we have to kind of look at all that and weigh that out, the options, so. I don't know, but I would personally leave that in Gary's hands to work with
Actually, I've
Guy and
already
City.
approached the mayor, and the budget chairman has them put it on their grants. And they don't start their budget until August, at the very last minute, and so it's on.
Janine, did you get the understanding that they really don't want to participate in that? Or, they haven't gotten that to that place in their budget and there's a lot going on there, like here?
Who's they?
Greenfield.
Greenfield. sorry.
Greenfield?
Yeah.
On senior services? Oh, I can't speak to that. I don't have, Gary Poole is very concerned. He kind of looks at that through, kind of handles that on behalf of the commissioners. He's concerned. I mean, we don't have a contract right now to hold that, so
The last time I talked to Gary about it, senior services had not put in a request for a grant. And he said he would call him. I've not talked to him since, but they have to put in a request for that grant.
They're probably just not familiar, since that's not been their historical process, that's required. So hopefully somebody gives them a heads up.
Before, it really wasn't. I mean, it was just an understanding that we all contribute.
Yeah.
Okay, so animal control. Currently in the budget that we passed, we're at for 2027, 465,000, and this calls for 479. I don't know, I guess we would pass the whole thing, I would suppose.
Motion to make the
That
change.
would, if we pass it, then it would automatically change the 27 number, is that right?
What is the deadline on the budgets? It's not today, right?
No.
10 days before. We have to push the button 10 days before the first hearing. When's the first hearing?
It's the September council meeting. So that would be September 9th.
Okay, so,
Literally 2 weeks. They're having upload problems at the state level. So the answer is no later probably than August 20th.
So, but we already voted at the budget hearings on 465.
Right, it's the motion to change
So
the number.
I would like to make a motion that we table an increase to that budget
Contracts
until
are
the
signed.
first meeting of September and allow time to.
The contracts are signed.
We can go lower, but we can't go higher than our advertised budget.
Right.
Just to point that
Yeah,
out.
if the contracts are already signed, and we did discuss it during our budget hearings, it's
Yeah.
a matter of just rubber stamping it now, I would think.
You signed a contract for 479.
Yeah.
Yes.
Commissioners did.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion to approve the $479,000 that will be appropriated to animal control for 2027.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed?
2,
We
5,
have,
2.
how many?
6-1.
Okay, now that was only to increase the amount for the
Right.
27, not,
It's a 2-year agreement.
It's a
Not
two-year
the-
agreement, but you don't really have to worry about that until next year's
Yeah.
budget.
Right, yeah.
And we're talking $11,000 here roughly,
Yeah.
for a budget that went up, $150,000. So, here we are again arguing
That
over
wasn't
11,000 when we give away
I just don't know
150,000
much
at a
about
whim.
what they do
Yeah.
there, but I think
So-
it's important to keep
But
them running.
it's the same amount next year. 28's the same amount?
28 goes
No,
up.
it went up.
Goes up.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't talk about, she said it goes up in the second year, and we didn't even talk about that amount. What is that?
It goes up in the second year?
Yeah.
It does.
Yes, it includes the second year.
Yeah, but-
Inflation.
Yeah, but we're dealing with this year's budget, so that vote was for this year's
Well,
budget. So
Evidently,
How-
what they've
how about
signed is
this?
for 2 years.
How about this? We passed the amount for the 27 budget, and that's our objective today. Do you want to table the agreement and maybe take it up in the council meeting
No.
on the 12th?
Take it up.
Or,
Next week.
I guess
Here-
I'm coming back
here's
to.
an agreement,
They've
so-
already signed it.
Yeah.
So they.
You guys
can-
already voted and approved it.
They've approved it, and
And
we've approved it for 27.
We do the contracts.
We
So-
approved 465, and then you just passed 479 for this year, but we haven't voted on anything.
we approved 479 now for 1 year.
Yes, you have. It's all set for next year.
Yes.
And then you can revisit 2028 when you go into the budget season for the
So
following year.
You-
this,
just make a motion if you want to, if you want to pass it.
I don't know what it is.
I was gonna say,
It says that the next year, it'll go up to 503.
yeah, and if we sign this, Scott, does that?
That's a 2-year agreement.
Right, so we're agreeing to both things.
Yes.
As long as we sign as is.
This asks
If
for
you
the,
sign off on it, yes.
yeah, this is asking for the signatures of the Board of Works, the City Council, the Commissioners, and the County Council. It's an agreement of everyone.
That's because it's
But the
interlocal.
commissioners do the contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we fund them or
Yes,
don't.
you do.
But this contract has our signatures on it then?
Yes.
It's
Oh, yeah.
inter-
So then we have to agree to it. If we don't, then it obviously doesn't get done.
And then we don't
Right.
have animal
It's not a
control.
done deal, because
Can we vote
And I
on
don't
a
know why the
2028
county
budget
council has
line
to
item
sign off on it in
in
the first place.
2026?
That's a great point.
I
Yeah.
can chime in for you on that. It's an interlocal agreement, so that's why. Because
we-
we have to have the signatures.
Can we
of-
vote on a 2028 budget item in 2026?
Well, you're voting on the agreement
Contract.
itself. So not,
We're not voting on the dollar amount?
your vote,
Yeah, it's in
you know
there.
you are, because it's in
Well,
there.
then that was back to my question. Can the council vote on a 2028 budget line item
You can
in
vote on a
2026?
contract that is
It's a
Impact.
contract.
longer than 1 year.
Is there an escape clause in it anywhere?
I don't
think you want an escape.
I don't either, unless you want to be the new dog catcher.
Yeah.
Could that be, is that a elected
Change
position?
So do we need a motion
No,
to
if
sign that?
you vote down, you
We need a
just
motion.
nominated yourself.
Okay, I'll-
Well, you need a motion, though, to approve the 2028 portion of it.
Right.
Right.
You have to really you either approve the agreement.
Yeah, you need a motion to approve the agreement.
Can I see it?
I don't even have,
We have several agreements that are several years and contracts out there that go on year to year and with price increases and what have you, so
Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we approve the amended interlocal agreement regarding the animal management services and to share the cost thereof in the amount of $479,000 for 2027 and $503,000 for 2028. Will be paid in 2 equal installments over that period of time.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we sign the animal control agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed.
5-2.
Send
It
it down for
passed.
signature.
We don't sign.
Okay.
There was two opposition.
Okay.
I don't think so, no.
Community
is it? Is that what you
correction
mean?
CCD budget. Mary, what is that?
Can we get you
I
guys
had
to go ahead and
nothing
sign
on
that?
one.
Yeah. the people
Okay,
that
all
voted
right,
for it.
cool.
So last month during the budget hearings, Community Corrections had requested some CCD money. You had taken that down to 0. I received an email from Penny Hunt, and she said we actually need at least $8,110 for our lease
Sign
payments.
it.
I'm not signing my name on something I didn't.
But
No, you
but
don't-
voted no.
I know, and there's no separate column, and I wrote nay out to the side, and I'm not signing my name on it.
Yeah, you don't sign it unless you voted yes.
It's an interlocal.
Usually there's a nay column.
Okay.
though.
Yeah, I know.
But 2 things going on.
Whatever.
But more likely to just
Hang
write
on,
it
Mary,
correctly.
just a minute.
Yeah,
You may
let's
have
just
to
get this
repeat.
passed through.
We'll get this through.
So within the CCD budget, Community Corrections is requesting that they be allowed to add $8,110 back into their motor vehicle line to cover their lease payments. You had made a motion to change it to 0.
Did you say 8,100, Mary?
$8,110.
Oh, didn't get the 10.
That was one that expires within the year, the lease runs out within the calendar year?
Yes, and that will allow them to purchase both of those leased vehicles. And they'll own them at that point.
We're already here.
You're just looking for a motion? Was CCD, it can cover, right?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to add back $8,110 in the vehicle line item of CCD for community corrections.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Carried, okay. IT department, Bernie. Bernie,
Building, like, I mean, they're growing.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
No,
I'm here. No?
So, are you telling us that's the way we're voting automatically?
you got to start out right, yeah.
You said no, I'll say this anyway. We need to make some updates in this room. We need to update some of the audio equipment so that it'll be more flexible for different meetings that are going on that we have to broadcast. And the commissioners had a favorable recommendation of upgrading this equipment. We don't have it budgeted. It's about, I think, did you put that in their packet, Mary?
Yes, it is in their packet.
It's a $12,094.55 upgrade, wireless microphones that we can reconfigure this room. I don't have it in my budget, but I can get the money from, move things around, but some things are gonna have to wait if we do that, so.
Can I ask a question, Bert?
Yes, sir.
Is there any way, because I'm still going to be here for a few more years, I can't see the,
Too small?
yes,
Okay,
and we use them a lot.
right. Want them to,
And is there any way we could get something facing us like those?
we could possibly do that.
Or something like
yes.
that, because
Can't see those.
I can't see this.
No,
Tell me,
no.
Robin, can you see those when Gary
No,
puts that stuff up on
no,
our
I-
other meetings?
Well, when
I've
Gary
seen-
puts it, when Gary Poole does it,
Robin.
nobody
Can't
can
see
read it.
anything.
You can't even read on this paper.
Yeah, but I mean,
Sears
there's,
and Roebuck catalog.
and we're using them more and more.
Yeah.
You know, other people bringing in things, and they're just way too small for how far away they are
Yeah.
from us.
I've suggested that myself, except to you, the person I should
And
have.
I know everybody out there is seeing them a lot easier than I am, and I don't know
you
if
need
we
is
could
a
just have
certain
something
robot.
facing this way, you know?
I will look into that. I think we went this route because there's really nowhere to mount, but if we go to the structure up above, we may be able to do something like that.
It says new microphones. Are they going to be more sensitive than these? Because I had to listen back to some of the last meeting, and there were things said that I did not hear in the public meeting, and which became very concerning.
Sure.
That, you know, because if you're sitting here having a side conversation, it'll pick up some of that.
Heads up on anyone.
So, now the alarm's going off. So are these, the microphones you mentioned, are they more sensitive? Because,
They're
or is there a way to
directional.
block it so that,
Well, let me give you a little bit of microphone history or theory here. They have directions. You actually have PA systems and you have microphone that actually, they pick up and they can pick up everything. So we have to make them directional, because if you make them omnidirectional, you'll get feedback from the PA system. So there's only so much we can do that, but we can point those toward you so you can actually hear what's going on. And that's the problem we have is sometimes Ken, Mary, Scott, the microphones are off to the side and we can't hear you. We can't hear what they're saying. So we need to make sure the microphones are positioned correctly, first of all. And then, you know, if we can probably adjust them a little so that you can hear better, but there's not a whole lot you can do as far as the type of heads we put on there.
Bernie?
Yes, sir.
Are the microphones you're talking about still stationary like this, or do they go
Well,
on
they're portable. They're stationary, but they'll be able to go on tables and things like that. So you can move
They're
them
not
around.
the clip-on
Now, we can do lapel mics. That's a possibility too. If we think that would help some people, we could do it with lapel mics. So, but you can't mute those. So.
yeah, they didn't hear me
I
drinking or
wouldn't like
eating.
it, but
Will it increase the audience? Will they be able to hear better?
The streaming too, would that be better?
What's that?
Streaming,
Streaming?
yeah, being able to hear.
Streaming might be better. That might help that because we'll have the mics out here and we'll be able to pick up everything.
Sounds like the biggest improvement will be the humans that are using the microphones.
That's true.
That's what you're trying to say, Bernie. I'll say it for you.
There's not
I'll
gonna
be
be a
very
lot.
blunt. We need to do a better job utilizing the microphones.
Right.
You're going to
So-
have a class all day?
so,
Right
Bernie,
now, Gary, you two are sharing the mic, and that's
Yeah.
probably not gonna pick up as well because
We don't have-
we don't have, we need. a
Thank
mic
goodness
for
I didn't have anything to say.
Yet.
so Bernie, what specifically, what are you asking for
I'm asking
today?
for that funds to
12,000?
$12,294.55.
Suggestion, maybe rather than CCD, you suppose we ought to take that from food and beverage? This is a one-time,
Yeah, no more than it is. I think it'd be all right.
Yeah. The food and beverage
think?
balance is pretty high, and if it's one time.
We-
I'll make a motion to pay for the microphones up to $12,300 from food and beverage.
all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, and Ken, I will look into.
Thank you.
Getting better visual.
Thank you.
That would be great.
That would be great for us.
We get a lot of that, and
Thank you.
we can't see.
Before we move on from that, Mary Bomer, how are we sitting on appropriated food and beverage that's unspoken for?
I know we have quite a bit.
Okay.
I'll confirm that in just a minute. Let me get logged in.
Okay. GIS, this was one of the, I don't think we passed the GIS.
Oh, we did, but
We did?
Yeah, we did with no changes.
But we need to do some more work with that. Everybody got an email stating how low that salary was and what he can walk out of here and get any day of the week.
Yes, it was our HR director did some
Yes.
surveying of the position and sent that out. I remember.
So we really need to do something with that because, I mean, originally, whenever I looked at somebody's salary, I looked what they could drive 50 miles to get, okay? He don't even have to drive 50 miles to get it. He can go to work for private industry and
Well, no, we don't compete against private industry.
we don't, but at least you need to keep him compatible.
I know,
Well,
but we should be compatible with other counties.
Yeah.
Well,
And that's what she reviewed and gave to us.
but at the same time, I would act on it. If you would, please.
We don't
No.
have money that corporations do.
And 75 is what our elected officials are paid to. So
That's-
maybe we have some information from Robin.
I
Would you
did
like
check
to?
on some things on that because I'm quite familiar with it because at one time I did work in that area. And I looked at all of Andrea's suggestions here. And geospatial is something that I'm really familiar with, and they do a lot of the conferences for the GIS. So, you know, we are very familiar with them, and they are with us. And they said the median salary would be $70,473 is what it would be.
Is that for John or both?
No, that's just for John.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
wondering.
Yeah, I thought we'd want to do it one person at a time.
Okay.
So that would be my suggestion, because that's what they go
I
with.
thought, I came with 70,000 for him too, so.
Is that a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjust the GIS, what's his full title? GIS
Technician.
technician salary to what we've determined as the average $70,473.
70,400 and what?
73.
473.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
Well, and then don't we have to?
Go
deal with
ahead.
The
Caroline?
assistant,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to deal with Caroline now separately. And there, I didn't find, and maybe Andrea did, a lot of information on what she does. So they asked for $20,500, and I will say, and Andrea made it very clear, but what they did first was they did the 3%, and then they put the raise on it. So they said it was, if you read that and just don't look at all of it, you think they're going to raise it about 16,000. Actually, John's is 17,706, and Caroline's increase would be 20,500. But she only makes 44,000, so she's pretty low. So we do need to bring her up also.
Yeah, I was thinking closer to maybe 55 to 60, trying to keep the difference between them about the same.
Right, yeah, that sounds good to me, too.
is that a motion?
Well, I
Yes.
guess we give an exact number.
Yeah.
Should we just meet in the middle, 57.5 then? Would that be, the difference right now is what, about 12, about
Actually,
13,000?
I've got it down here. The difference for her is 20,500.
No, I meant the difference between the two positions.
Oh, John and her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say names, but I didn't see
70
the
and-
titles.
It's about 15, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say, what'd you say, Scott, 60?
And so I would say maybe 57.5.
About 30%.
Come on, Clark, get on it.
Was that a motion? Was that a motion, Scott?
Oh, I'm waiting for
He's
Clark.
coming in.
Oh.
What'd you,
I think 57,250 is.
57,250? All right. I make a motion for 57,250 for what's her position title?
It's just, we just have it under GIS
Yeah.
technician, so it's not
Okay.
an actual.
All right, GIS
title, right?
technician position.
Second? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried, okay.
there you go.
Next is sheriff's retirement, and this is on here. We did pass the sheriff's retirement contribution for 27, but the sheriff had some recommendations for additions. Brad, yeah, come on up. I was hoping to see it broken out, but wasn't able to break it out last night, the different options.
Did everybody see that
We had
document?
the scenarios.
We have it in
Yeah.
our That's the easiest one to really kind of understand. The other one, the actual aerial study piece was,
Tougher. Yeah.
and so, the piece that you see in front of me, there was 5 different scenarios that we talked about. One scenario we didn't talk about was, an age 52 retirement from 50, because we talked about a 50, but we never talked about a 52, and I did not figure that. And so if you look at scenario one, that particular scenario there was just to increase the death benefit from up to 500 for the spouse, and then 200 for the child. And so if you look at the recommended county contribution, because that's what we normally use, is the recommended, you're looking about just a $4,600 difference, $4,700 difference just to increase that piece. Okay, so if you go to scenario 2, and that particular item was just the COLA from 55 just until age 65, so that would be the 10 years. It also includes that increase of the death benefit. It's also included in that, with also the additional contribution of the deputies from 3 to 4%. And if you look at your recommended contribution, what it is currently valuated at, and you look at what the study came up with, you're looking about $457,297 difference just for that piece.
And that's just the first year. Each year after that goes up even.
Based off the valuation, yeah, because the COLA is going to change. Now that's based on 3%. I mean, that's the max. It's actually going to be a little bit lower because 27's COLA is 2.7. And so it's based off of whatever, well, I forget what that terminology is. Keely, can you help me out with that? What is that?
What's that? The cost of living adjustment?
Yeah, that's it. So it's based off the cost of living adjustment. So.
Oh, the CPI index, I think.
Yeah. Figure it, so it's just, but it's figured at the max, I guess the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But it's 2.7 next year.
Brad, is that just the COLA?
That one's just the COLA. That one is just the COLA.
Okay, and how much was it?
The difference was $457,297.
So it could be less or more depending on inflation.
It's going to be a little bit less because it's 2.7.
I mean, each year.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a couple things to consider. One would be that inflation could be lower. I asked Brad a while back for the numbers on, what if it was 2.7 every year instead of 3? And over all those years, it makes a big difference. It looks much more palatable. But something we can't forget is that our pension has to remain a certain amount funded. So if the market tanks,
yes,
and the value of our assets in the pension go down, we could be asked to contribute more for a number of years to get the funding liability back where it needs to be. So a lot of variables.
Yeah. So somebody had mentioned at the meeting, in scenario 3, doing a lifetime. That's a little crazy. So I kind of just bypassed that one. And so the other scenario that were really relevant, we just discussed in the last meeting, was the scenario 4, and that was changing the normal retirement age from 55, what is currently, and reducing that to 50, with the addition of the 10-year COLA from 55 to 65. And so if somebody retired at 50, by the law, you couldn't start actually getting the COLA until age 55. And so those 5 years in between 50 and 55, you would not receive that COLA increase until you became at 55. It also requires the 20 years of service as well. If you look at the recommended county contribution on that one, the difference between the two, current valuation and the study, which I had labeled incorrectly originally, you're looking at $630,422. Now, I did mention maybe in my email that, that number could go down if, there was a consideration of, looking at age 52 versus age 50. I don't have that figure, but obviously it's going to be somewhere between, the first figure, 457, and the 630, because you're reducing or you're increasing the age a little bit from that. And the reason I talk about the reduction in age is just due to the fact of exposure to what we deal with on a daily basis. And I don't know if you've seen the PowerPoint piece that I, included on that. Did everybody see that? But
How easy would it be to change it back if, like in her example, the market tanks?
So to change anything back, obviously, that's going to, it's going to have to be, with the sheriff, merit board, and the
Yeah,
council.
I can hear.
She's
like it's a nightmare over there.
That's going to be a nightmare.
I understand, but that would,
That would
obviously.
require agreements between everybody to make that
Okay.
all happen in the change. Anytime there's a change to the pension, obviously it's got to, between the sheriff, the merit board got to agree, and then also the council's got to agree on that.
I have another question too. The death benefit, right? The increase in death benefit is the one thing that we're talking really nominal dollars here. And you accounted for increasing the merit deputy employee contribution rate from 3% to 4% as part of that illustration. If the other requests, like for COLA specifically, weren't financially feasible totally on the county's dime, is there also the possibility of increasing some of the merit deputy contribution to get that done?
There is that ability as well to increase, because we went from 3, right now it's 3. This is figured on 4. There could be additional contributions to that.
It doesn't have
In the
to
future.
be specific to the death benefit. If we wanted to keep talking, if we couldn't get the rest of it done as presented, we wanted to find a way to add COLA, we could keep talking about increasing the employee contribution to make it work. And if we even want to.
That's good. I think at 4%, the deputies were fine, and the contribution. I haven't talked to them about, hey, is it okay for
Right,
a
it
5
would-
or 6 or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I just don't on myself want to say, hey, everybody, this is what we're going to do.
Right. No, we'd have to do even more math to see
Right.
what that even looks like, but I wondered.
This is obviously going to go on and on. Do you think maybe we ought to put this on the agenda for the council meeting as a separate item?
I was
I'd
thinking
like
that, but I was wanting to know if maybe our financial advisor can give us some information about how this could look forecasting into the future.
It's going to come right back to what Keely said.
Yeah.
We've been in a record returns. Okay, our contribution ought to be record low, but actually it's been kind of going up too.
Well, we added deputies in the last,
There's where I was going.
yeah.
So if you grow, because of certain economic development projects and things happen, and you add deputies, you've got a lot of incremental growth that is going to be attached to that. No doubt about it. And so, but remember, we've had record returns. It won't continue.
Not very optimistic.
Well, it can't, right?
just-
you can't have 50 S&P highlights over. Or
And the fund's about 65% invested in the market. Most of the rest is in, like mutual funds and, bonds. And that's the ratio they've been using since I was there on the board.
And Brad, you have given the council the latest investment report.
I think it's been a year since I've seen it.
Yeah, that's another topic that we need to get
I
done.
just called, I asked Brad, I wanted a recap before we talked more about this on the portfolio itself. And Brad put me in touch with Gelser Investment Management. And she kind of refreshed my memory, because it'd been a while, about the policy statement, the allocation. We talked about, whether there was exposure to private credit and some other things. And they do their analysis in conjunction with the actuary who creates our projections of a little over a 6% annual return, which is what the financial planning software that I use for households, depending on your allocation, really conservative, you're going to be a little under 6. On the high side, we're in the 6s for super aggressive. So they're right in line with everything I've understood about long-term projecting. so it's, I don't question the portfolio allocation. I think it's very organized, but sometimes no one is spared in a market, in a recession, right? And we would have to, the employees are due what they're due when they retire, regardless of what the market does. They do not share in market losses, right? We just have to compensate for them.
And I know I'm a little concerned because I was here when to Greg's point, when, you know, it was tough to come up with the money for the sheriff's retirement. And I want to make sure that we don't leave it for a future council down the road, possibly, to face all that again, because that was very difficult coming up with that money.
And I think you ought to look at 52 instead of 50. I think physically and everything, I think that's still a good number. And that would help some of it too.
I could see if he can, you know, by the next meeting, see if he can give me that one figure.
Yeah, because
that's a possibility.
That brings down our total cost a little bit.
Well, and I think if we could,
50's a little early to retire.
the biggest question I have now, because I would love to do it. I would just love to say it's not a problem. But when you talk about increasing the annual obligation by 50%, which is what we're talking about, going from $1 million to $1.5 million, and that's assuming things stay as they are. And we never even cut the $800,000 out of next year's budget that was our target. For me, I'd love to do it. And I think it makes sense to not incentivize officers to stay past the desirable age and all that. It's just about the math. And that's what brought me lastly to, but if the employees said this is important to us and we'd be willing to contribute more to make it happen, how much could we do, right? If it's not $500,000 a year, could we come up with $200,000 a year if the employees could increase their contribution a couple %? And then where does that get us? I have those kinds of questions now.
So for expediency here, how about we defer? I'd like to see the figure. I just got them last night, so I didn't even get a chance to look at them myself. I got to digest some of the.
Okay. Brad, how
what
much
you're
of our
actually talking about?
Our
So we've got the 27 budget set, so we can next meeting bring it up as a item and talk thoroughly through it.
I'd like
Is that
to
okay, Brad?
think about this a little bit.
Yeah, and that's fine, and I'll see what I can do about a different, every time I do one of these studies, each one, it costs money.
I
so-
know. I think we should be thoughtful about.
But if I can do one more, I mean, I'm good. I'm sorry.
How much of our total retirement is funded? We running 70%, 80%?
We're about 82%.
82%?
I think.
Yeah.
So we're not 100% funded.
No, we're not 100%.
The latest report,
Can
that would
can
be
you
a
make
year
a
ago.
one-time, Greg, can we make
You
a
did
one-time
that.
payment into the retirement,
Let's-
make it
let's
100%?
get
You did
into
that last
next
year
time.
or year before.
Yeah, I didn't think we were
gonna
that
be here all
funded.
day.
You need to get the new report.
But that's a capability.
That's the critical.
Yeah.
Get the updated.
Yeah.
Because with,
Okay.
I don't know if we're still that, we added
That may be
extra money, which we're trying to get it up, but with the addition of officers, and then certainly if we pass anything like this, I don't
That
think
would
we'd
help
be anywhere
future
close to
boards.
80% funded.
So what I'll try to do is I'll try to get a better on the 52 for next week. We'll see. I'll see if maybe I can get Gelser in here as well, and get on the agenda and see if I can get them in here to present those better numbers, you know, something that I can't do, so.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But we really
Thank you.
would like to do whatever we can for
Yeah,
our
and, you know, and I'm
officers.
just doing my
But we just have to make sure we have the money.
And I appreciate that. I'm just trying to do my due diligence for, you know, my current people and my retirees. You know, served this, you know, county for years, and, you know, I'm concerned about, like I said, the mental well-being of the deputies and officers that we deal with on a daily basis, and it's just getting more difficult all the time, and so.
And there's a lot of variables we can't account for. Like, for example, people probably experience more healthcare needs between 55 and 65, it would make sense.
Yeah.
And they're still on the county's insurance plan. Whereas if we had not created an incentive to stay so long and they would have retired, you know, and we self-fund our insurance, I mean, there's no way. I do see the advantage to not incentivizing people to stay so long. But yeah, we have to figure out how to make it affordable.
So let's have a thorough discussion next week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and real quick, I know you're trying to finalize the budget, and I know it's not on here, but I got a little, with the CCD, I got a little thing with we had a lot of conversation about the drone and everything like that. Based off of what we discussed, it's about 72,000 short, because I just implemented the new one. And so that's going to have to be added on for the total cost for next year. Now you can leave it as is, and you can come in and do an additional, I suppose, next year, but it's going to be right at 72 short. From because we went from like 285 to 165, but we need to add, 72 to that to make it solvent for the entire payment, for 27. And I'll talk about it next week, but we have an issue with the 26 budget on the drones as well. Somewhere, it disappeared somewhere, so, but I can bring that up next week.
Okay.
Hey, Sheriff, can I
Yes.
just make a comment on
Yes.
this? Everything on that is so true, because I look at it in real life every day.
Absolutely. And there's more, and I put more, and, you can see, the top 10 traumatic events that officers deal with, and you can see the average, what a police officer sees versus the average, civilian. We talk about homicides and dead bodies, you're 50 to 200 times more than, what a civilian would see. And you see all those particular things, and, you talk about the general public and what police have to deal with, it weighs on you.
Okay. Judge Sirk?
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Very true what the sheriff said for our law enforcement officers. My request is just try to balance out the drug court coordinator with the behavioral health coordinator and the fees being equal. Just a few reasons why I believe that should be the case.
So, obviously I brought it up last month. What amount are you looking at? Exactly the same, or, because there's a differences, I think we got into education, and we got into it a little bit, but then since it wasn't done.
I would ask that, I believe it's 66,473 for the behavioral health, and I just asked that it be equal. Part of that reason, not to go too much into it, but Ed was grandfathered in. It's the same job. She's kept the drug court certified. That's not easy to do, and she's maintained it.
Because behavioral health court hasn't been certified yet. Is that our understanding from the state? That's, yeah.
Did you talk to the new HR director? Did she make any comments on?
I forgot to do that. So
Well, she's right behind you.
She's right behind you.
Okay, well, I don't want to make her answer that on the fly.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're going to get a call.
So what's your pleasure?
I'm in favor of it.
What,
I'm in
the
favor.
current amount, I'm trying to remember how far it was off the
I
current amount.
forget how much Beth's
I have
currently
it.
is, but it's quite a
Right
bit.
now, especially the amount of time that the other person's put into
And
this.
the other thing is
You know what I
Beth
mean?
is going to
Probably
retire
make it
fairly
work.
soon, and we will need a college educated, sure the salary is attractive.
I had that we approved 64,269 is what I wrote down
Close.
last, so just to give everyone the perspective of difference.
I'll make the motion. I'm in favor of it. I mean, we've got longtime individuals, and the approved over and over and over again. So, I mean, why would we jeopardize our current program?
Thank you.
Okay, I'll second.
Wait,
Okay.
I have a question.
only
Can you explain a little bit, those of us that are not involved with it all the time, just quickly, what is the difference between the two, would you say, the drug court and the behavioral court?
That may be The drug court is primarily look at drug addictions and consistent drug problems. Behavioral mental health court is the primary focus is mental health. However, I mean, that's something we may even look at with the future because those tend to overlap. And I want to make it as if, while I believe in these courts, they are expensive and you guys are supporting it. And there may be a way to make it even better economically going forward.
So is the difference just the courts? I mean, one is part of one court and one's the other?
Technically, we do have two separate ones, which some counties put their drug court as just one, kind of. That's something maybe to look at, but we do have two separate courts. The drug court was started by Judge Culver, I think, in 2004, and it just focuses on repeated drug-related problems, which do cause great problems. And then the behavioral health court is to look specifically at mental health issues.
Right.
Different. The only thing that I was just saying with all humility is sometimes they do overlap.
But different judges can send people to the different ones.
Yeah, it actually, I don't get in the part of selecting, or I never get in to try and promote somebody for drug court. If the therapists and the people who evaluate recommend one court over the other, that's.
Okay.
I have wondered at times if we should make it one, but is there some very good reasons why we shouldn't? What are those reasons why we shouldn't combine it?
I'm actually, that may be something to look with, I mean, I'm trying to be diplomatic.
With the new judge?
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, wait.
That may be something we'll discuss. It might be something that we would move toward. And if it is more economically beneficial, the counter argument would be we're more focused on drug addicted and focus on that. They're more focused on behavioral health. But I do see that they tend to overlap, but we need to work that out and get it more economically efficient for the county.
I agree. I've been a speaker at both courts. And I've said for a long time that people with behavioral health issues and people with the drug court issues, honestly, it's a lot of the same issues. It's just sobriety is the prerequisite for, tackling those other mental health issues. And so I would be very interested in the future, and I'd like to let the new judge get adapted, but I think it could be, the legalities, but our BHC is not certified. Drug court's long been certified, and I think we're tackling the same issues whether a person has a substance abuse history or not.
Can I get a clarification on the motion about the amount?
Yeah, Kaylee, can you tell me what the amount would be?
I want to I know what it said in my book, but I want to make sure that's what we voted on. What is the salary amount?
So currently for behavioral health, the coordinators guys approved $76,919.
I was a little off, I apologize.
And for drug court coordinator, approved at $64,260.
So it's.
Was that the intent of your motion at that amount? Because I know that's higher than what.
That's higher than I thought, but I'm not going to change my motion, but I will add the amount in if it need to.
Yeah.
If you need it by the penny, it's whatever, 12,000. I'd like to say something too, because I've been working on the drug issue since I've been on the council for 12 years. We started trying to work our drug problem here in the community by going to other jails and figuring out what we could do with our people and all of that. I did all of that. I've worked probably 12 years on this. I kind of feel like we are in a much better situation now than we ever have been. But there's a lot of factors. There's so many factors. The community's growing, so it's hard to judge if our drug program and all the other things we're doing is helping because there's still more and more people coming into the community causing more and more issues. I kind of think we would be 3 times worse than we are now if we didn't have all the programs we have,
right.
Especially with the ability to separate people at the jail, the ability, all those things that we've been working all these years to do. But I do feel like we're in a much better position. It used to be front and center. Drug was everything. We had special officers we paid out of economic development for drug enforcement. We had everything, in the past, trying to beat the program, beat the situation. But I think out in the community, it is much better. And that has to be, some of it has to be because we're trying to take care of the people that have the problem.
Well, I want
And
to,
something is working.
Something's working. Okay, it's probably a combination of federal law. It's probably a combination of border closes. It's probably a combination of a lot of things, access to the drugs. It's probably a combination of a lot of things. But one of those things is what we're doing.
I do want to say this. I want to compliment Councilman Fisk and all of the council. Your support has helped us tremendously in making the improvement on that. So thank you very much. And we're going to continue to focus on that. And also, we try to continue to focus on Hancock County residents as much as we can.
You want to restate your motion and all?
So if there's a specific number you want me to put in there, let me know.
It's 76,919 if you want to bring it on par.
Okay,
with
that's my motion, to bring it up to so it's equal.
919.
Do you still second his
I
motion?
will second Kent's renewed motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And I
Thank you,
do
Judge.
have
Thank
just
you,
two more things I didn't want to bring up before you can go, Judge. It's
Okay,
not, I
thank
didn't
you
want to
very
bring them up
much.
before the vote because I didn't want to apply it specifically to this, but there are two things about this in general. One is I wanted to clarify, when we talked about adding an HR department, one of the things we talked about being a benefit is that someone other than a department head would analyze, much like was done with the GIS coordinator. And I don't think we should cherry pick when we do and don't use that. We either agree that that is part of our process for analyzing if an individual's pay is way off, or we don't. Is it our intention to send everyone through HR for analysis of salary?
I think so.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, I'm not trying to put you, in hot water, just what you can find. I just don't think it's fair that we ask department heads to be the liaison for that information. Okay, so.
I think the department heads can provide her some information to help her.
Sure.
but
Oh, sure.
But she provides it to us at the end.
Yes.
But like the report that she gave us for the GIS, she never came out and said they should make this amount of
Right.
money. She gave us
Just provide
different
information.
things to look at. It was very helpful.
But she can come at that from an unbiased position,
Right.
whereas a department head has a bias, obviously, or they wouldn't be asking. So going forward, I guess we're in agreement that before you bring forth an individual salary request, we need info from HR.
Right, well, and it needs to be an unbiased. I'm
Yes.
in the unbiased camp because the last HR director we had, when we were dealing with the salary 17th pay and everything, I felt like we were being pressured by them, by their opinion. And so I didn't enjoy that, and I know you guys probably don't even remember a lot of that, but I do. I remember everything we went through in that 2 or 3 month period fighting that. And so an unbiased opinion is what we really need.
We don't want cherry pick data that favors one side or the other. We just want averages in general. The other thing I wanted to point out
And
is.
I'd just like to add to that, yes, Andrea does a good job and totally biased. So, I mean, she does what needs to be done for the county.
I believe that, and I didn't want to throw that at her day one because I knew she had a lot to chew on. But that is the intention of one of the intentions. And then secondly, I just want to point out that over the years we've always given the department head discretion to distribute raises, and there's been a lot of favor for that over us dictating a flat percentage for everyone. And I can stay on board with that approach. But over time, and we saw this with probation in this budget cycle, they said, well, now our people aren't in line with these people, right? And so if we're gonna go every year letting department heads decide, we can't always say, well, my person should make what that person makes, because for the last 5 years, one department head had a different perception than another. And so I don't know, I'm not saying we change it, I just wanna point out that positions are not gonna stay on par between departments as long as department heads do have discretion, and we probably can't weight it that way always.
And as long as I've been on the council, it's been an issue every year.
And in Beth's
Yeah, well,
case, Beth has done a great job. She's been
It
here a
just
very
is.
long time, and it will cost that much to replace her when she retires. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So like, I didn't want that applied to this specific situation, but we can't always say yes because someone else in another department makes this, because the department had leeway, you know,
Right.
to move their salary.
Well, the jobs in the
Okay.
county are so variable that you can't even really compare two jobs because they are so different, all of them.
They don't have to be
And
equal.
that's where she comes in.
Probation, Gayle and Nick. Good morning. I see you're still armed.
Just in case you say no, Jim.
I have the sheriff on my side. He's behind him.
Not the man wins. So just a few things. I didn't quite do the math completely correct when we lost that grant and pivoted her into that empty position. So in the county general fund, that was a difference of about 6414. And so that's what I'm asking for there. The 2506 line, that was because we, an employee left and we hired a one that's slightly more expensive. So I had to adjust that just a little bit by 1836. And then the FICA and perf were based on those moves as well.
Jim and I, as a reminder, before we had budget hearings, we went through the budget pretty much in detail. You guys have one of the more complex budgets, one of these departments that has a lot of funds. I think you did a great job. Nobody prepped you for your first budget year. So if there aren't questions, I've reviewed these changes and would make a motion. Is that all right?
No, sure.
I'd like to make a motion to make the following adjustments to the probation budget. In Fund 1001, line 12003, adjustment from $843,086 to $849,500. Fund 2506, line 12003, adjustment from $139,664 to $141,500. Same fund, FICA, adjustment from $17,250 to $17,500. And perf adjustment in Fund 2506 from $25,500 to $26,000.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day. Now, Jeremy? Good morning.
Three small items to run through with you quickly. Two of them we're actually going to handle next week until the third one popped up about the same time.
And can you break down, I think you've got two requests, right? One
Actually,
is,
three technically. I'll break them down quickly though for you. One
Okay.
is our Title IV E funds that we get quarterly from the state regarding our juvenile funds we get. That's the standard where it comes in. It gets put into one fund, and then I think Mary and Deb are familiar with this. We have to appropriate it to a different line item. So what I'm asking on that is in our line item 8892 3808 zeros, there's $6,400 in there, or there's more than that, but we're asking for $6,400 to be placed into 8892 31218 zeros, which is the juvenile pauper expenses. And then also out in that to create another account in 34201, which would be event expenses under that 8892 fund, but with no funds in there right now. So if that's clear as mud, I hope that
so
is.
you're asking for a shift of funds, okay? Why don't we take these one at a time?
Is that it's appropriation?
The appropriation we have to advertise.
Advertise.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the first one was additional appropriation.
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Go.
So that will then, we'll come back then. And then the second thing is, as you may be aware, a few weeks ago, the governor decided he was going to approve up to $2,500 bonus for state employees in the executive branch.
Okay, and that's for 26, correct?
For 26, it's now. And due obviously to the pay parity compensation requirements of the comprehensive plan, the state's paying that to the prosecutor. So, but that requires that, that come also to Mr. Ron, my chief deputy, and myself. However, that's not paid by the state, not paid by the county. That's should just be, needs to be paid out of our supplemental fund. So it doesn't, it's not any extra cost to the county, but it needs to, we need to, I'm not even sure how that works, how it gets from the supplemental fund into a line item for salaries for the two of us.
And that's two people,
Just
2,500 each?
Yeah, because of longevity. It was a,
From supplemental?
Yes, from our
I
supplemental
want
fund.
to make sure that I understand this correctly. So basically, it's the $5,000 that the prosecutor,
Nope, that's a separate, that's my next thing.
That's a separate
This
thing.
is a one-time bonus from the governor authorized to executive branch employees.
So the governor's forcing us to
Do
give a
that.
bonus
Yes.
to match this.
Right.
Forcing you to give the bonus. It's
Well,
not
he's
coming out
forcing
of,
us.
well, it's not coming out of county dollars.
Yeah, it comes out county
Yeah, it
dollars.
is.
Yeah, it is.
The fund is not county dollars, sir. That's, you're not funding that. That's funded by user fees, so on and so forth.
Yeah, but we got that before we had public defender's office.
But you don't get to use it for yourself. It's only for public defender use.
I know.
So,
We would do,
But that fund doesn't cover the cost of your operations, and we make up for it elsewhere. So
yeah, it's a
that's bit
supplemental
of a
fund.
shock.
It's for
But-
it's used for one-time expenses, which this is. So, that's.
Okay, so we have a
I don't like
motion.
Is that an appropriation, or is that, or we
Gets
just move
bonuses
that
in the
money
county.
over?
We don't give bonuses in the county to
Right.
any, we don't allow department heads to give bonuses.
we do have a few stipends.
Yeah, we have some stipends
Right,
for
what-
extra work that they've had to do.
What we've agreed to is that there will be pay parity between him and Myron Ron and the prosecutor and their right-hand man. So if the governor gives them $2,500 apiece in the prosecutor's office, and we've agreed to ensure they're compensated equally, but they're not giving it to them.
I'm not sure that we agreed to that. There was a
Oh, yeah.
document that was done.
We gave
that
a
said we
blanket
had to.
agreement. We
Yeah,
didn't know
did- I
what
don't
we
think
were
Did
doing.
agree to match them.
No.
I'm not saying if you want to take it to court, you can't win. I'm just saying, do we want to take it that far?
It's a government issue.
I think.
Well, then let the governor fund it.
Yeah, well, they.
Yes.
Okay, so is this an additional appropriation?
And this is a one-time.
This is the one time, that's why it's
One time.
paid out of the supplemental fund, not out of our general budget.
Yeah,
And
it's gonna
it'll-
be an additional appropriation, there's gonna be a salary ordinance amendment. And, it isn't
it's a mess.
effective, so I don't.
Because it is a one-time, non-recurring mess, are we legally allowed to instead do that one-time expenditure from food and beverage for $5,000 rather than or does that not work?
But we've got the supplemental that we can't spend on anything, and this is something we
Well, we're
can spend
restricted
it
with
on.
supplemental. Why was
So we
the
might
use
as
of-
well
The
spend it.
state's dictating where to pay it from even.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
And they're saying that it's this,
That you can
use
take
of
it
the
out of that.
supplemental
We're
fund,
so
they're saying.
restricted with that money anyway, I would.
Well, they dictate to us that we can't spend it on much of anything. And
Yes.
so this
Yes.
is one thing we can
It
spend
just
it
bothers
on.
me that the state is telling us to pay
Unfunded.
whatever
Well, that's because
department.
you have this department. If you didn't have this department, then, and you would have done it the old way, then you wouldn't be dealing with this.
So I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. So this is just for this year, next year?
No, this is the one-time bonus authorized by the governor.
One time.
That has,
Well, we get all
I mean-
that. It's just, to me, it's not fair.
And next year.
Well, they could, yes.
The
Oh,
state,
absolutely.
state employees
Probably
have
will.
not gotten a raise in 2 years, so this was a way, because of all the news around the budget surplus, to reward state employees. So,
A raise in 2 years?
Yeah, they have
I
not.
started July of '24, and there has not been a raise since then.
Yeah.
So this was a way to
Yeah.
kind of give a, hey, good job, state employees.
Did you
I
get
did
in
get
on
this
this?
bonus and was very appreciative of it. I want to be on the record, I was very appreciative of this bonus. But just before you get too fired up, understand, all state employees, regardless of where they work, and there's a lot of really tough jobs of the state, have not gotten a raise in 3 years. So I would not get too fired up about this
Yeah, that
small
2,500 didn't
bonus.
even begin to cover
I
it.
do understand that. My husband worked for the state for many years, and he went 5 years once with no increases.
Clarifying question before I make a motion. Do you need a new line item? Or is there an existing line item?
There is an existing line item, but salary cannot be paid out of it. Within the supplemental public defender line, he has $10,000 appropriated for pauper council expenses. However, since we're going to be paying employees, we'll need to come up with a payroll line.
Okay, new
So
line.
we'll need a budget transfer for $5,000 to transfer that into an appropriate line. I do have a question as far as where will the FICA come from on this?
Yes.
No
Normally
idea.
it comes from the fund that the payroll.
And I'm sure we would probably take that out of the supplemental fund too. I think
Okay.
that's not going to be an issue. Like we've given explicit instruction that this can be paid out of the supplemental fund. The CCA gave us that direction expressly. So I presume the FICA would come out of that.
Okay, that would be very helpful.
And I can
for
clarify and let you
payroll
know, I don't
department.
think there'd be an issue. It should come out of there. I mean, if it's coming out of other funds, I don't know why it wouldn't.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion that a new appropriate line item be created within the Public Defender's Supplemental Fund for $5,000 plus the appropriate FICA amount.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, aye. And it's
Okay.
not the money, don't get us wrong.
2 or 3.
It's the principle.
Three.
The
Just do a-
state just keeps
He didn't ask for it.
forcing
Let's do a
us to
roll
do
call.
things.
If the state wanted to issue that as a
4,
bonus, they
3.
should have funded the bonus.
We think it's 4-3, but is that, who
Let's roll
voted yes?
call.
Yeah, we can do a roll call.
Yes.
I think it was 4-3 too.
It's 4-3.
Okay, and they voted yes, and then us three voted no. Okay.
4-3.
So myself,
No.
Kent, Mary.
No.
Okay.
Mary, and
No.
Do we still have to have an appropriation, though, to move
Okay.
the money?
yeah. I
We
think so.
still
Well,
have,
she said a budget transfer.
this is just a budget transfer?
Yes, this will be for a budget transfer
Okay.
and to pay it out.
Okay.
Her
So
motion
this
was for a new line
passed.
item.
Third one?
The third and final one is goes down the same road, because I know you're not going to like this one either. But as I was coming up with this, looking through this, it came to my attention that the county, for I don't know how long, has been paying out to the judges, the magistrate, prosecutor, and chief trial deputy a $5,000 stipend every year.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's where I think you were going, Ms. Lauder. Under the comprehensive plan, under the CCA's requirements, the compensation salary for my office has to match that of the prosecutor's office, which requires that there's, then to maintain compliance, there's two options. Either add that to our budget line item moving forward, for, I hate asking, like, I feel like I'm terrible, I'm asking, being greedy for money, but this is the requirement. $1,000 stipend for myself and my chief deputy. The alternative is to not pay it out to the prosecutor. And I'd say take money away from them. Those are the two options I present to the council to maintain compliance with the comprehensive plan. And that's just the way the plan works, so.
So in our budget last month, we passed for them to get a raise, which I think I voted no on.
And I think it'd be
We would
fair.
have to take that back out.
I think it's 100% fair.
That's not fair, right?
No,
And then-
100%,
And then
I
add
agree.
the 5,000 in.
I think that's
As a
fair.
separate line item,
Yes.
just like how we do the prosecutor.
And I think, and that's what I was going to suggest, honestly, is take the raise, but put that back in. And honestly, I think that's a fair, I would propose that as a fair compromise.
Well, I can't imagine that they won't do this every year, since they do the judges every year. And like I
Yeah.
said, I'm not against you getting it. What I'm against, I think they should pay it like they do everybody else, the prosecutor, the judges, and the state should come up with the money.
This is you all paying the money.
This is us.
This is
This
not
is us. This is us.
This 5,000 we
This
give
is
to the
us.
prosecutor.
We don't have to do it.
Only
No.
because it's been done for
Yeah, we don't-
eons, but
This go-
Well,
we
they
can
have a
cut that
choice.
if we wanted to.
of-
Do you have
Th-
something?
This goes back about 20 years when the
Yeah.
state was not able to pay the judges.
Give
And so
raises.
they gave
I
the
think Deb might have a
locals
comment.
the ability to pay judges
Brett
up to
didn't take
five,
it.
Long time.
if you wanted to.
he's taking it now, though.
Now,
And it didn't show up in this case because the prosecutor was not taking the
That's what Deb was
5,000
pointing out.
for a while. Now he is. So
I think
it
if
time.
if he's not taking it, then there's no reason to
Well,
pay
he
it
is
out.
now. He
He
is
is
now.
now. He
Because
was.
he's not getting a raise right now.
Stay in step. I'm not looking for something that they're not getting or whatever else, but
Okay.
I'm trying to maintain
So-
compliance.
we need, what, 5,000 for?
We need a motion to correct the, his salary to match exactly the prosecutor's and for his chief to match their chief's salary.
Right.
And then we give an additional 5,000. as a separate line item.
I already match, his and my salaries already match Mr.
I know, but
Eaton's.
we
There's
gave
a
you,
separate line, a stipend line in the
Well, we
allocated
already
budget.
passed the 27 budget with their salaries the same, I think.
no, we passed it with an increase, I believe. Is that correct, Deb?
We had requested a raise since
You
it
had
was
requested
allowed,
a
and you did
raise,
pass
like
ours, so
like a 3%
that would need to
raise.
be corrected back to match exactly his, yes, you're right.
It needs to be corrected back.
And
So-
then there'd be a separate line item for the stipend.
Yes.
I'd say we take it out. I might be the only one, but
Take it what out?
we don't do it.
Do we,
I'm tired of the state.
Let me
pushing
flip it.
everything
But then you're
back
going to
on
take it
us.
out of the prosecutors then?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
mean-
is that $5,000 for elected officials?
I'm sorry?
In the prosecutor's budget, the $5,000 that we pay Brent
Yeah.
is in a line item for an elected official.
Do we pay his assistant, his chief,
No,
5,000?
we.
It's
or
on
wait,
judges.
Yes, we do. We do. There is, it's on the second page. And
Okay.
it's just chief deputy prosecutor, $5,000.
So we give it to Brent, Mr. Eaton as a prosecutor because he's elected. But, so that would not be the same then for your position. It would be same for him. For chief.
Compensation, salary and compensation have to match. Meaning if the county's giving him additional compensation, it doesn't matter.
But you're not elected. Do you see the argument there?
Neither is the magistrate. Magistrate gets it, and the judges get it. I understand. So I'm just making that similarity.
Okay, I see your legal argument
But it says this, the compensation plan requires matching salary
Totally
and
volunteer
compensation.
that we give it.
Yes, oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not.
Again, I know it's,
And he
Well,
mentioned that, it's
why
up to
why don't
us.
we just add a line item like we do for the prosecutor and
I think first we
PDs?
gotta decide if we're
Because
gonna
we
do
might
it
not do it
before we-
always. We might
Where the
remove
line
it.
item's gonna be.
We can remove it from the prosecutor if we want to.
Well, I think that's what you said, Kent, right? That we could just do away with that.
I don't think it's been a good
hear
program
that.
since I've been here. And Brent recognized that at the beginning and didn't take it.
Yeah, the first
Right.
4 years, I think.
I think it might have been 20 years ago, but I think things are different now. But it just complicates things. It keeps complicating things.
I'm just not happy with the idea that the state puts these numbers forward, but doesn't provide
The
the
5,000 is
funding.
not the state, though.
That's
Well, and
another
for clarity,
discussion.
what we keep talking about is a comprehensive plan, which I think is something we agreed to that was not legally bestowed upon us. Is that not accurate?
I don't know if we ever agreed upon it.
I think, I wasn't here when you guys voted on creating the office, but my understanding is that, yeah, the county and agreeing to the office.
I'm not against the comprehensive plan. This is a voluntary thing. It's been there for 20 years. Me personally, it's causing us havoc. You know, I know it means that we have to take it away. But if you, I mean, I'm just one vote, okay?
So just to clarify, I think what we approved, if my book is right, in your budget for your salary is 189,018, and that was the prosecutor's salary, because the prosecutor doesn't come out of this fund like you do.
We had requested a 3% raise for my chief and myself, which was approved. That puts us above the prosecutor, but that also didn't account for any $5,000 stipend or whatever. But again, for all fairness, if you want to remove that since the prosecutor doesn't get it, I understand that.
But that number is correct as far as
What was
the
approved?
state salary for the prosecutor, or?
No, the state salary is, like, the prosecutor nor I were, the prosecutor didn't receive a raise for 27.
What's his mandated salary?
Whatever it is this year, 183 something, I believe, which is what mine is currently.
Oh, so you already get 5,000 more than,
No.
or because he gets the 5,000?
Currently, for 2026, we make the same salary. Now, he has an additional $5,000 stipend he's been receiving, which I did not receive. In our budget moving forward, since technically the comprehensive plan requires that salary, my salary at minimum matches, we asked for and the council approved a 3% raise. The $5,000 stipend wasn't in my argument or anything at that point. The council just approved that 3% raise.
Do you guys want to think about this till next
Yeah.
week? Because I want to kind of check my number.
It's right now we have on the schedule that he'll come back next week for the one-time bonus, which we already voted on 4-3, so we could put it in that time slot, yes.
Let's do that.
I just want to compare the numbers because I don't want to come back in a month or two and be like, well, actually, this fund over here has a few bucks and I
Can we
can't
have
it
our
all up.
HR look into the 5,000, how it's done in other counties?
Yeah.
But they don't pay it.
And I had assumed that the salary was the same as a prosecutor, but I didn't look it up, so I'd like to see that. Okay, come back next week.
I wanted to ask also, we had discussed at the budget hearings about your office being open through lunch and 8 to 5 or 8 to 4, whatever your hours are. Are you doing that now?
As much as we can.
Because you have like 5 people in that office, I think you said.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think with 5 people in that office that you could stagger lunches to be open. Because my problem is you may have people that need to come in, and they may try to come in during their lunch hour, and then they get there and the door's locked. There's no reason why that I can see that office should have a closed period of time during normal working hours.
On that topic then, Ms. No, you brought this up last time, and I've gone back and looked, and it feels like there's a double standard going on.
There's what?
A double standard going on, and do you make the prosecutor's office stay open 8 hours a day?
They should be.
They're not. They lock their office doors for an hour every day.
For lunch, correct?
For lunch.
Yeah.
And there's a sign on the door.
And nobody's there to.
And nobody answers the phone
They
either.
have 30
I would
employees.
look at the commissioners then to address that, because in my opinion, for the number of people that these offices employ, there's no reason why they should be shut down at lunch.
Well, we've got the recorder and the treasurer that don't have many employees, but they don't close for lunch.
Yeah, they have 3 people. I don't get it. I just don't get it at all.
Well, we do the very best we can with the limited
Well, I
employees
think
we
you could
have.
do better.
We'll work on it then.
I just want to let you know your collar button's unbuttoned, so if you're going somewhere else, that way, just,
And that's my tension. I guess it's better than my.
Way to lighten the mood.
I'm just looking out for you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I appreciate that.
Okay,
We'll continue to work on that.
But I know this was addressed to the health department at one time because they were closing at lunch. And they were told that they cannot do that anymore, that they have to stay open and have enough staff to do that. And I don't know why any of the other offices would be treated any differently.
The planning
Question.
department had that
Okay.
issue.
Yeah, the planning
Long
had that
time
issue,
ago.
but that all got corrected. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is that we're a government office that provides services, and we shouldn't be closed during the middle of the day, when that might be the time that somebody has to come visit your office.
I
I've
understand that
received
argument.
emails and letters about it.
Okay, nobody's contacted me about that ever, about specific instances, and I wish they had, because then I can address that. But moving forward, we continue to do our very best with the limited resources we have to make sure we're staffed and meeting with people and open to the public. I mean, that's what we're there for.
Yes, yes.
Maybe that belongs
Thank you.
somewhere in our handbook too. If it's been like, if we're addressing it one-off, maybe it needs to be put into writing somewhere in county documents that no office is to be closed.
I mean, we are a government office, so I mean,
To Mary's point,
Yeah.
that's the only hour some people have
Yeah.
during our
That's
open
true.
hours to come.
I'm in
so,
agreement.
Yeah.
None of our offices should be closed at any time. I mean, 8 and 4.
The normal working hours should always be open.
Unless there's some kind of emergency or something, but that's just good common sense.
Yeah, that's, with 5 people, I would
Christmas
think
lunch.
you'd have more enough.
Christmas lunch.
The all county lunch.
We all do that.
Are we ready to move on?
Yes, yes. We'll see you next
I'll
week.
see you next week.
All right, thanks,
Thank you all.
Jeremy.
Thank
And
you,
I'm
appreciate
sure
it.
you're looking forward
Bernie,
to
are
it.
you still here?
I'm sure you're looking forward to next week.
It's all good. It's all good. You treat me respectfully, and I appreciate that, so thank you.
I don't see Bernie, so let's go to Scott on the ordinance.
Yes, so I talked to Greg this morning, and we do have an ordinance, and we've obviously already done our notice of intent, so we've done the prerequisites. I think it's fair to say we could probably have this for you to review and sign off on maybe next week. What do you think?
Sure,
Yeah.
So an action item for lit ordinance next week?
Yeah, I think we can have it before you to actually execute.
All right. And just to remind you, this is reducing the library lit by 5 basis points, and we would add that to the economic development lit. Okay. GO bond, Greg, you're up.
Sure.
Thank you, and good morning. We're waiting on Lisa Lee to get the documents for the official statement. The bond ordinances are all done, or the bond ordinance. I need people to sign up for S&P phone call. Bernie's already been told, TI or IT, I just joke with the TI. And by the way, Clark, I think I've got mine. But
I'm just looking out for people. My collar's been turned up before.
Yeah.
I'm just looking out for people.
to make sure I'm okay. Bernie will be on it. I need 2 council members and 1 commissioner.
For what?
And the auditor will automatically be involved in the S&P phone call early September.
Early September, or do we have a date?
No, we don't have a date yet, because it'll be dependent on their schedule.
Whenever we do have a date, we'll have a commissioner there.
It's the president.
Pardon me?
When you do have a date, there will be a commissioner on that call.
Okay, does anybody want to be the lead first?
Check with me first.
Okay,
Yeah. 'Cause,
gotcha, perfect. 2,
we can get somebody there.
yeah. 2, and it'll be by teams. 2 council members.
Yeah, I could be one, probably.
Not me.
Not you?
Keely, do you want to be the other one?
Keely.
I'll be the other one.
And if one of us can't do it on the date they picked, then we can ask somebody else to do it for us.
I'm sure, if it's a call, I'm sure I can
Yeah.
make it work.
The auditor, and we'll have Bernie be first. So,
Bernie's here now.
and
He's
Bernie's
snuck in.
already aware, because I caught him out in the hallway. But all of the hacks that are going on with water and sewer utilities and all that, very, very important that, Bernie, did you want to come up and talk about the 26 training? Because 26, 27, everything we train is going to be important.
Right. Number one hack right now for cybersecurity is phishing. People getting into people's email and putting stuff out there. And we have an ongoing campaign called Know Before that everyone should be participating in to actually get you in the mindset of looking out for that type of a thing. And it works really well and it actually makes you look at your emails a lot closer, because they're getting really, really good at hiding things. With AI, it's even getting worse, so.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Yes, sir.
Are you testing us? Because I get a ton.
I do test you.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
because
does.
I'm like, I get way too many. And some of them look like they're coming from inside, and I'm like, okay, I did not order.
That's what AI does.
I didn't order anything from HelloFresh, so.
Yes.
That's just it, because you don't look at some of those things, and that's how they slip things by you. And that's how it catches
And I
you.
caught mine up, so.
Yeah.
Catching mine up.
Yeah, I know I'm behind on the trading.
Caught up.
I just flag every
I mean,
email.
You guys got great time. As
What,
far as
so we're gonna,
if I
the
could figure out how to
questions they
block
have
it.
specific to IT will be directed at Bernie. I am not expected to know.
Right,
Okay,
absolutely.
thank God.
Right, I get different ones. I get different ones than what you get, so,
Okay.
you know.
The key is we haven't been attacked.
Attack, we've fought off several different attacks. You guys don't even know
Very many
that, so we're
Outlook.
pretty diligent in trying to keep
Very,
our
very
network
few.
safe.
And backup and all.
Backups, and that's why the money I asked for certain things, it looks like it's expensive, but it'd be a lot more expensive if we didn't do it, so.
Now, you're on the agenda for 2026 training.
Oh, what was that for?
I don't know. That's why we're bringing you up here.
You had discussed that last month, and they said, no, wait for the budget meeting. Today is just 2027 budget. So I automatically added you to the agenda so that you could talk about the 2026.
Well, we have a training for our department all the time. And AI is becoming a big hot topic, and we need to get our staff trained in it, because we're going to have to roll that out at some point to all the county employees. And if we have questions, we need to know what we're talking about. So we got to get trained on those type of things. And I put that in the budget, so it's already there. So.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you.
Great, go ahead.
So that's it on the GEO bond.
When
So-
are you going to sell that, do you think? Just,
We're planning on selling in September,
You know, the rating will come shortly, and we're going to competitively bid it.
Okay.
We always do, and so hopefully sell and maybe close in September or first week or two in October. It'll be dependent on bond council.
So it'll sell before that Fed meeting?
That's good.
Or,
Oh, we always watch the Fed meeting
Yeah.
calendar. We've got that, we got a big
Final
calendar.
moves.
So in the office, and we totally know when that's going on. So, okay.
Must.
Now, yeah, I've got a little handout, so I've been doing several meetings around counties and attending some of the city ones. It's getting what I call too complicated, and you need to kind of boil it down a little bit. This is kind of the little handout that I will give out at the meeting, and keep in mind, the meeting is 8/20, August 20th at 6 p.m. Yeah, and so this is a little document to get everybody focused when we have the meeting. And so you might want to look at this and things like this. So there's all kinds of models out there. We have our own model. AIC has a model. They're trying to correct it. We found when we met with them on Hancock County, it needed corrected. It did not have, it had the library within the county's number. And so, you know, and you know, we've always said with the Musk Group, we're going to take the library, pull it out, say it should be up to 0.17 to fund it for the future. And that's, you know, Lori Elmore and I had that discussion, and we just pushed that off to the side. Okay, because that's the best way to keep this moving, and I'm assuming that's council's wishes. And when we get to 28, 29, or 30, whenever they decide they're going to really do this, now they're talking about doing it in 28. You would do the rates in 28. They would levy it in 29, and they would distribute it in 30, but that'll change. I am told SB2 is being written right now. Now remember, I call it SB2, but it's already being written, okay? I am told. And so things will change. So the good news is, I think what we do, and we need a chairman from the council of the three people that are serving on it, okay? And Scott, I don't know, you're one, Keely's one, I believe.
Jim's the third.
Jim's on? Okay, and Jim's in charge?
I can be, I mean, to run the meeting fast, you know, I mean, I don't need to say a lot about it. I just have one opinion, that's it.
Well, you'll be the vote.
is it everybody, is the opinion that everybody pays their own way?
No,
on
my
their own
opinion is
constituency?
that, my only issue has always been is that taxation without representation. You shouldn't, Jim Shelby should not be funding McCordsville and Cumberland and other towns, because he doesn't live there, nor do I. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's-
All right, Scott's our leader.
That's the only issue I have. Other than that, I'm willing to
Decided.
work things out and try to do the best for everybody. And that's why we had those discussions earlier about animal control, and I was asking questions because there could be options in there.
Yeah.
There is a lot of things we fund for
Yes,
the other
and
towns.
that's- oh, yeah.
That should be addressed in this.
And I've thought about it
And
already.
or you absolutely should have interlocal agreements.
Has everybody been contacted yet?
They have not been contacted. There was the emails floating around, and then I was told to hold. So I've got the attachments now. If I can go ahead and send those
Yes.
to the municipalities, I will do that. And we've got time to get the legal notice posted, but I want to do that by Friday at the latest.
Yes, you can do that. But the only thing I do want to state is that Greenfield changed their email addresses. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, we
Okay, you're
do
aware of that?
disbursements with
Okay,
them.
thank you.
So perfect. So that's way, you know, first meeting, we'll have, most of them are going to probably evolve into 2 or 3 meetings. And even the deadline, they said probably is more like October 1 or November 1. So we'll work through the first meeting, get everybody on the same page, kind of explain everything, and then set the second meeting. The second meeting will come up with hopefully, I've already got a draft agreement that Scott will work through and you know, that will get some consensus, at least on concepts. You know, rates, in my opinion,
will not matter because they're likely to change. So, okay?
A lot of blanks in the.
There is
Agreement.
a tremendous amount. Questions?
One thing on page 2, it says, remember, and item 1 says one rate fits all.
Yep.
Can you elaborate on?
Sure. What we're seeing is that I'll give you the example. I just did Hendricks County last week. If we had Hendricks County, let's say Plainfield, did not have enough income by using their own 1.2. So then when you back in, and Brownsburg did not, and one of the other municipalities did not. So once you look at what's needed for Plainfield, it would be a county-wide rate. Remember, they can opt in or opt out. If they opt into the county AGI, then that rate might calculate for Plainfield let's say 9.0. Then if you were to do the same thing for Brownsburg and try and make them break even, it might be 0.80. So you can see then you have to come up with a rate overall for that. So to fund and break even at 0.90, it'll be a surplus for others. Okay, that's where one rate does not fit all.
Oh, it said one rate fits all, which is why I questioned you about it.
Yeah, it's more like
I like that it doesn't fit all explanation better. Okay.
Yeah. Does one remember one rate fits all is the concept that's out there with the state,
Right.
but it's not going to work.
Right. Exactly. Okay. I wanted to make
It's
sure.
called Houston. We have a problem.
Yeah, it does not fit all. Okay.
Right.
No way.
Yeah, I can change it to not fit all.
Yeah, I didn't want to go into it, people thinking one rate was gonna fit all.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Any other questions on that?
Nope.
Okay. So Scott, if you're your leader, I'll assist in the process and go from there. So, okay.
And that will be in this room, that meeting, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, because it's public, anybody can show up. So the whole
Yeah.
council could be in the audience. It's public. Yeah.
Any other questions on that? Perfect. Okay, Walmart, we've scratched that. That was an email. So 2026 sustainability, or here's the highlights I want to give you for the 2027 budget. I do like where we're at, and if you look at Mary's printout versus the sustainability, I'm going to go right to page or number 9. So we're required, Mary, what I believe you've done so far is you have kept the building and planning within the general fund.
For now, yes.
Yeah. So we're going to have to set up the new fund, and I think it's 1204, thought I had it in here. We're going to have to set up 1/1/27, the new, I'm not on number 9, building and construction related fee fund. Okay. So in Hendricks County yesterday, we went ahead and we're now transferring revenue that we're collecting. We set up the fund. We're now transferring revenue right now that we're collecting into that fund. Now let's think about this. We've got a brand new building fund that we're going to have to start paying salaries out of. And by the way, in Gateway, we'll have to put it in there. Okay. And it will technically have zero balance.
In 27.
Yeah. And so there's a couple ways we're going to either have to handle it. We kept it into the general fund budget. I think, Mary, we need to go ahead and advertise that budget. It'll be on the Form 3 in the new fund in total, 2. So we've got it covered both places. If you look at the sustainability, we took it out and we created the new fund. Okay.
Are you saying you need a balance in that fund January 1st.
We're going to have a cash balance issue, yes. So she's going to want to code her payroll, and we're going to want everything to come out of that new fund because the state's going to look at that in year 1 or 2 and say, wow, you got $1 million extra in that, you're overcharging your building permits.
So in 26, that just lowers our balance in the general fund.
It would if we did this strategic move of receipts, and I kind of like that. I want that fund to get all the revenue and pay all the expenses. Because what we've said in the fund already to the planning department is it's going to be negative. Okay, we do not believe you are collecting enough to cover unless some special projects come up that are unknown to me at this point in time. That would be a different issue, but the normal does not look like it will fund building permits. So you don't have a whole bunch of extra money being charged, right? And so that's what we've got to overcome, and that's important. So I've showed it on page 141, and our budget amount in the sustainability is less. So we need guidance from council on how they want to handle that cash balance, because that's going to be an issue.
Okay.
Okay? So we might put that down for council meeting next. Okay, let's go through the top now. I'll go fairly quickly. So the growth quotient is 6%. So when you look at the sustainability, and we removed all of the building and planning revenue and expenses, we believe we're okay where we're at. You will notice that I put in here the growth quotient 6. The realized rate will probably be about 4%, because keep in mind, Greenfield will go up, Buck Creek will go up, everybody will go up. That'll push the tax rate up. So if you don't notice anything else, the tax rate that I said we held for 4 years at 2769, it won't stay, okay? And the reason is also because of number 2, it looks like the county's net AV is going up 2%. So the good news is it's going up. In some places it's going down. Remember, the supplemental homesteads are all still applying, you know, and 2% property is now getting supplemental. And so AV and personal property. So, you know, we're lucky that we're even growing net AV. Okay. The supplemental lit or pennies from heaven were outstanding. These are the amounts, and I have the sheet. Have you given them the sheet, the council? Pardon me?
I think I emailed it out. I don't have a handout.
Okay. So means that overall our pot probably will increase about 10%. So what we put into the sustainability was $2 million for 27 supplemental lit. Okay, and so overall, our increase in lit should be very, very strong. Probably anywhere from 6 to 10, depending on the other units, you know, raising their maximum levy and getting more. Remember, that's the whole intent of the must, is to go from levy base to population base, and the population base doesn't work. But
in the past, you haven't put the pennies from heaven in sustainability.
I have.
But now you are.
No, I have, because Kent.
I know, but in the past you didn't, though.
Not past, yes. Yeah.
For a few years, you probably have, yeah.
Well, but when he didn't, then all of a sudden, you'd come back and say, oh, we have $2 million more than we thought we did. And we were making decisions based prior to that, and then all of a sudden you dump $2 million on top of me, and we cut programs, or we did this because we didn't know it wasn't right. It's the same thing that happened with the state, with the school systems, because they come back and say, oh, well, we found $300 million and you get $5 million. Well, we just fired 8 teachers because we didn't have the money, and now you're telling me we had plenty of money.
We had it.
And so it doesn't work.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is going to each county and saying, you've got skin in the game as much as I do. Let's agree on the number, right, to put in, and kind of go from there.
And it hasn't failed yet.
Circuit breaker number 6.
You said this is all updated with what we voted on at the July budget hearings, right?
For the general fund, yes, it ties in exclusive of, we pulled out building and permit and set it up in a new fund. Okay?
General fund is based on what we voted on at the July meeting.
Correct. Minus planning and building.
Hey, Greg, we just raised our fees in planning and building. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. And planning and I talked about it, and I put together a 5-year projection for them and sent it to them and said, please tell me where I'm wrong. And hopefully we'll get that back and get their updated, because I think there was different categories going up different amounts.
There was.
So I looked for their guidance on the revenue.
Perfect,
Yeah.
thank you.
But thank you. Yeah, important. Okay, number 6, this, I remind you that circuit breaker went up 609,000. That's actually less than a lot of counties, and that was because of the 10% or the 300, whichever was less. And gas tax, we believe that's been fixed. Number 8, the county did receive 371,000. Lane mile distribution, we have to have the new fund, which you did, 1242. And what most people are doing is using this for the CM, the grant match on the county level. CCMG, I keep wanting to call it BC, but okay. We talked about number 9. Number 10, we again have created the $500,000 appropriation and rainy day fund. And for September, remember the rainy day fund on whoever's working with S&P is here for emergency. Okay, emergency use only. Okay, we need to review the fund balance requirement resolution. That still has, in our understanding, a 25 date on it.
No,
No.
in February, we did a new one.
Perfect, I need that. And we'll have to submit that to S&P. So that's excellent. Right. We can cross that off. General fund. General fund has, more concerning to me is the fact that we have 4.3 million built in to fund the budgets going forward, and that's over 14% of your revenue. And so Kent, the interest rates will do what in 2027?
They're going to stay high.
Okay, you heard it from him.
And you're putting more money in it all the time.
Well, actually,
everything's bigger than it was last year, right?
Actually, I'm good. If you look
and it might even go up by the end of the year.
If you look at the sustainability, we have tracked down in total interest about $1 million or $1.5 million.
Right now, the market is saying an 80% chance of a rate hike by the end of the year. 80%. Now, even if they don't do it,
right now,
that means they're not talking about cutting it at all.
Entire year of 27.
Right, but no, they're not even talking about cutting anything. So we thought we'd be cutting 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I would say about that is we're talking about, we're always looking out the next 3 to 6 months, what will rates do? But these sustainability projections are 5 years.
Yeah.
And if we went into a serious recession, you could go from making 3.5% to making 1.5% within one calendar year. And so I think it's important, Greg's pointing out, we are depending on these interest rates to a large extent. I mean, not all of what's there, but if it were to get cut dramatically in a recession, it would be a real burden to address.
I just think, about every quarter, about every 6 months, you just have to know what's happening.
Yeah. Where it will align itself is both the interest income, supplemental lit, and all that will be when we introduce our new lit rate. It'll all come to head right there. So. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Living document. It's a living scenario. You know what I'm saying? You can't just freeze something for even a year anymore. It's a quarter to half a year living scenario.
Yeah, we're updating that pretty much. it won't get updated at this point until we get final approval, but it has been updated as much as we believe.
There was a good dozen years where you couldn't get 1% interest.
Well, look at that interest income line in the
If you ever got back
sustainability.
there, it'd be a major adjustment.
What's next?
Number 13, 1173 and 1176, we believe when we do the Form 4B, it will not work. We've already told Gary that. Gary said, just tell me how much I need to cut so that we don't get to the point of where the state cuts it. But there just won't be, we believe, according to sustainability, if we combine them, there still won't be enough money to do absolutely everything he's budgeted for. So, general drain fund, the reason I bring this up is when we allocate our pennies from the 1782 or the budget, the final budget order, we will not advertise the general drain with any additional property taxes going into it. We'll keep the same amount. That's it. So remember, that pulls from the general fund. If we were to say general drain needs another $1 million, and if you look at the sustainability, you'll see on page 84, it's smooth. It's doing real well. So. So I talked to health first. We already know that will be going, down. It's going down significantly. Most of the health departments are going to start lobbying in January to get that money back, or at least have it not go away. But remember, when you created those new positions, when you've always said if grants go away, you have to review those positions. So that may come to the theater next year. Okay? So Fund 911 may be short in 2026. I'm seeing a negative balance, small negative balance in 2026 on the E911 fund. I don't think John will spend 100% of his budget, but we may be kind of close in 1222. Again, the state of Indiana needs the review. That has not changed. They fixed it up for 3 years. Then they've been keeping the same amount because, the telephone lobby is very, very powerful. And that money coming from wireless and burner phones and whatever you want to call them, needs to increase because 911 costs are going up, if you haven't noticed.
If that fund is going to fall short just for a short period in 26, and then the rate will level that back out, right, in 27?
The way 27 will break even because, John, as long as John, and if John doesn't spend 100% of his budget, he'll make it through 26.
So any shortfall that were to occur this year, if it did, you would suggest county general? As a
or food and beverage, maybe if it's interim.
Can I ask a question on that? Okay, so the state granted us the ability to increase the lit. With 911 was, Greenfield cut their participation after 7 years. Their contract was up, so they took $400,000 from us.
$360, I think.
$360. None of the other entities participated at all in 911. So the answer to that was the state saying, okay, you can raise taxes and for 911, take all you need first. Okay, so you're going to change the LIT program with the MUS program. Does that change our ability to still raise that tax and take what we need first for 911?
Okay, what you're going to see in the MUS presentation, if you go to it, is that when we calculate the minimum requirement or the break even for the county, that has been included in the county's portion. Okay, so it will not.
Okay, all right.
With the assumption you go with more than the minimum.
Right, but I think that's that's in that discussion somewhere.
Sure. Yep. First page we're going to hand out is what everybody collects in LIT and how the goal, you read it in here, the goal should be at a minimum to make everybody break even. Because I've had hostile crowds show up at bus meetings and say, you're cutting our lit. And the answer is, nobody said that. And the goal is to at least break even on each entity. Now, sometimes it may take an interlocal agreement by the county in order to help fund some of the little ones, the little township. But also remember, township consolidation is coming to a theater near us next year, okay? Because they're going to be putting out the score sheet, and those that have not done their budgets, those that do not have fire protection, those that put their head in the sand will be basically forced to consolidate.
But are you suggesting, when you talk about getting everyone whole, I mean, in some cases, that would require taking income tax from people who don't live in a city and town and reallocating it to a city and town, would it not? Or is there another solution?
Well, it is very, very likely that, you'll have to levy on the adjusted gross income of the county in order to fund all services going forward. And I think we're going to see that, yes. So guess what's probably going to be addressed in SB 2.
Okay.
Because you know how many times I've heard exactly what you said?
Right.
About 100.
Okay.
So. Okay. So that's kind of the rundown. So I like what we're going to try and do is after today, upload your Form 1s, which will open the floodgate that we can then work on all the others, but we can't work on anything. I think the worksheets are done, but we can't do any step until we get the Form 1. And hopefully we're having about 50% luck on uploading of Form 1s to the new system at the state. So
we've got some problems, but I want to add all these changes from today, and then we'll try to get the
and then our
problems
helpline
fixed.
plus the state helpline.
Yes.
So
Hey, did you need to be on next week's agenda? Because I'm writing that up.
For the county council?
Yeah, for next week. Did you need?
I don't think so.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I didn't know if I missed that.
Yeah.
All right.
Heading in the right direction with the budget, that's the key.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay. Anything else?
Oh, thank
Emma,
you.
I didn't
Greg.
think there was.
I'm going to break the agenda here, and as a courtesy, Bob Mattsey wants to go through the tourism budget, and we're kind of off time. So, Bob, is he here?
Yeah.
He's back there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We know Brad will be here later.
Yeah.
I did include a copy in your budget in case you didn't bring your book.
Tourism budget.
Thanks, Bob.
Morning, all.
Morning, Bob.
So I will start off and get the ugly piece out of the way I want to say first. Since it was, my health status was shared in your last meeting on the 8th of July, which was very inappropriate. But I want to say that I am in very good health at this point. I've been through a couple years. It's been challenging, but I'm in a very good place now. Enough said about that. My recommendation to you would be never do that again. It's very illegal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I didn't hear it in real time. But I looked back, I heard back, and when you heard it on video, it was clear that your name was mentioned, and my apologies to that.
No problem. It's just
But I'm
lucky it was.
I'm glad, that's the most important thing. When my wife got sick, I didn't tell anybody about it really, and I understand, and you want to keep.
Well, just be glad it was me and not somebody else. They probably would have got a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you want to go about this. I watched the video 2 or 3 times. You had some questions then. I'm willing to address those at this time in person, if that's okay. The first thing was the gross revenue of $855,000 was brought up. I don't know where that came from. But what you've got in front of you, hopefully, I don't know if I made enough copies or not, but you have in front of you, I've been the treasurer for tourism since 2019. And what you're seeing there is the revenue for every year since then, along with our expenses, grant money that we spend, and Kent's favorite topic of always is the fairgrounds, and you'll see that we've been very generous to them. So on a 7-year average, we get about $455,000 a month. 4-year average right now is $655,000, and the reason for that, plain and simple, is Taylor Swift and the eclipse. Those two things increased our revenue during that 4-year period significantly. So it's hitting that average. To make sure you're aware, the money that comes in from the innkeeper's tax comes to the county treasurer, and then out of that is held the salary and fringe for the executive director. That comes off before the money's sent to us. That averages around $9,000 to $10,000 a month. There was a comment made about 39,508. I'm not sure. I didn't really understand what was being said there. But 39,508 is where there is a not-for-profit that the commission sends 70% of the innkeeper's tax to each month for them to utilize to manage the tourism activities in the county. There are approximately 73 counties in the state that collect the innkeeper's tax. There is only one county that operates without a not-for-profit. That's Delaware. We were recommended by the SBOA to go to that same model like the others have. So we did make that move in 25, and it's working out very well. The next thing that was mentioned was cell phones. Didn't understand why our cell phone was, the line item was $6,000. It had went up about $1,500, I think it was. First of all, it was mentioned that your home cell phone costs you $100 a month. Well, there's a little more in that than just a cell phone cost. We pay $109 a month to Verizon for a cell phone and a tablet for the director, and then we pay $350 a month to Nine Star. That $350 a month is for the office landline, routing equipment, and the fiber internet service. That works out to about $5,500 a year. I did raise it to $6,000 because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they could raise a rate or whatever. I always like to put a little bit of extra there, not much, but a little.
Nine Star usually does contracts. Do you have a contract with Nine Star then?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to hold that rate for the term.
They should, yes.
Yeah.
But again, $500, guys. Just trying to put a little fudge factor there. Budget less than previous year was discussed. The only thing that I can say there is I don't know how you budget, but this is how I do it. Now, I come from the corporate world, spending 23 years doing it. I look at not just expense, I look at revenue. And what I look at when I put together the budget each year is what do I think is trending. I drive through these parking lots of these hotels on the weekends. I count cars. I probably need a life, but I do. Because it's my responsibility to try and have some idea of what we're going to be, how we're going to be impacted with what's going on. Now, when I look at gas at anywhere from $4 to $5 a gallon, where it was at when I was doing this budget, I'm thinking tourism is probably going to drop off a little bit because people aren't going to travel. So it did drop a little bit. It dropped a little bit for the second reason is that because of the money that we had in 24, 25, and 26, we budgeted a little bit more in the grant line item. The reason we did that is because we knew we had extra funds there that we could, in fact, hopefully support more grants coming in, and they were. And this year we got bombarded. And a lot of that was because people were out there saying tourism's got money running out the yin-yang, so go hit them. And they did. But we had a little bit of money sitting there. We tried to keep 12 to 18 months of operating expense setting
in our money market account. We have to do that. If we get in trouble, we're on our own. You can't bail us out. We're on our own. So we make sure that we keep that there to cover anything if things go bad. When 2020 hit, we didn't have to come ask for money from anybody because we planned for it. We weren't scared, as was stated. We were very cautious and we were very frugal because we had to be. So when we realized that our grant fund could have a little bit more money put into it to hopefully support more things, we did that. And we did that for 2 years, 24, 25 especially. We spent a good little bit more on grants. Now, the biggest benefactor from the grants is your food and beverage. Because every event that we put on, almost always somebody's going to come eat and drink in this county. And when they do, you've got that fund, and you use it a lot now. I imagine you're glad you got it. Tourism's very responsible for a lot of that money that goes in there. So I don't know how to respond to a budget being less than the previous year. The world that I come from, that's usually a good thing. Operating expense increased. There was an increase. There was a discussion about the operating supplies, I believe it was, that had increased from $3,500 to $4,000. Again, $500. Wow. But anyway, the reason for the increase is operating supplies is where we pay for our software maintenance. And we had a couple that were going to be increased for this year, so it was increased by $500. I don't know how to address the final thing, and then I'll stop and let you guys beat on me however you want. I'm going to address this one. I'm going to be as kind as I can be, but hopefully we can discuss it in a little more detail next week. Tourism in the paper and in this meeting has been called a slush fund. You might want to look that up and see what it means, because what it implies is wrongdoing, illegal use of funds, and I can assure you, damn it, we're not doing that. Don't make statements like that unless you can back it up. Now, what you have done has possibly damaged the integrity of tourism. I probably work harder some months than any of you do in your role when you get paid. I take that personal as how I'm taking it, very personal. And you don't understand how tourism operates, and that's sad. So I can account, anytime you want to come see it, for every penny we have ever spent. When we grant money, we don't just give it away. We give it away, yes, but we expect them to come back and tell us how they spent it. An invoice, a receipt for every dime that's ever spent. Can you do that? I don't know. I hope you can. It's my money. So that one really upset me a lot. And on our personal note, Kent, you need some relationship management training. Because in the same breath, you turned around and said you want to talk to us about how we can give you some more money for whatever it is you want. You trash us and then you want money. So I'm done.
I just haven't seen anything in the last 10 years, Bob, that would impress me that we even have a tourism scenario, okay? And so, but I've got questions for you on your revenue. Is the revenue you figure here for 2026, is that actual or was that projected?
What you're seeing there on that spreadsheet is to date.
It's to date.
Those are real numbers. That's live
Okay.
data.
That's good. So 2026 is going to be higher than 2025, right?
Probably not, no.
Because it's 436.
I understand that, but
and
also.
we still got 6 months left.
Yes, but the numbers are also dropping off a little bit. Okay. It's possible.
Can I ask another question? On Airbnb income, do you track that? And is that increasing?
That is Airbnb and 5% together.
Right. I know you said the hotels might be decreasing, but is Airbnb increasing?
The Airbnbs are very healthy. She can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with Airbnb than I am with
hotels a lot anymore because they don't want to deal with all the crap.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with the Airbnb increase than I am with the hotel increase. I'm not familiar with, we're not having as many people in the hotels because of the eclipse. But I know that's why you were saying that we probably wouldn't have as much revenue this year. It's not proved out yet.
Let me explain the hotel piece to you. It's not just tourism. The last 2-3 years, we've had State Road 9 construction, we've had Interstate 70 construction, and those hotels are full all week long while that was going on. 9's done, 70's moved east. We're going to see a decrease because of that now. I know that. You know, that tourism is weekends. Through the week is, you hope business is what's putting that money, putting them in the beds. Atlanco's gone. There's money that was there that's not going to be there now going forward. So it's a crystal ball, guys. You don't know. It's easy to somewhat budget your expense, but revenue is a guessing game because you don't know what's going to happen. This economy can fall apart tomorrow. And it's an election year, midterms. So it's going to get ugly. And you have to be prepared for that. You have to plan for it. All we try to do is look at what we think is going to happen as with the information that we have available to us. And I feel like I do a damn good job at it. Now, if you'll look at that line item for the fairgrounds that you go on about, we've been very good to them. They're actually, over the last 6 years, have received every year 8% of our budget. They can't complain. Now, I know what you're wanting. You're wanting to do more out there. I just want to make sure that you clearly understand on that fairgrounds, we have offered several times to pay for a consultant to come in there and determine how they should best spend money. Don't go out there and put up a 2-story building and say you need a convention center when we're putting one up out here. They're not going to be able to compete with each other. It won't work. So just understand that we've tried and we've offered to pay for it. They need to determine how best to spend their money. You give them $90,000 every year. Don't you want them to spend that in the best way possible to bring people there? They need to know how to do that. They need help. They can't do it themselves.
I appreciate conservative analysis of the revenue. I appreciate that. And I also thank you for explaining some of these line items because, you know, obviously cell phones, we think of one thing because we see it with everybody else, and it's much more than that. So maybe
it is. And
so I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, to be quite honest with the line items, I'm not being anything here, but I come from the corporate world. And your line items, I try and find, based on the definition, the best one to put things into. I mean, that's all I can do. You know, so cell phone, and actually, if you look at that, I don't even know who come up with the name. It's tourism cell phone or something. I don't know what it's called. Can't remember now. But the bottom line, I mean, we do the best we can to put things where they try to fit. That's all you can do.
Let's double check with the auditor's office. Are there any of those numbers that you need further broken down as far as line items in the actual budget?
I think that the landline could be gone.
Well, there's a telephone line.
Is it in here?
There's a,
Oh, we
not,
could
no,
add
not
a
in
line.
here.
We could add a
There's a
line.
utility line for 9-Star, just utilities. I think that would just clarify maybe why some of these expenses look, you know, that you questioned as far as cell phones.
If you want it somewhere else, all you have to do is pick up the phone, call us, and tell us you want it somewhere else. It's that simple. Instead of it becoming
we're not saying that we want it
this.
somewhere else, but we didn't know. We didn't know that
we didn't
landlines
know.
were in there, but we
Yeah.
do now, so now we can.
And there's a
We're happy to
column
work with
there
you.
that some of the offices provide notes about a line item that may have a need to be explained a little deeper
Okay, now,
for us.
let's make sure that you clearly understand. We're not in your system. We can't do that.
Yeah.
We're not in
They-
your
they're not.
financials.
They don't provide the
We're the black
numbers.
sheep. We're out here on the edge of the umbrella.
They can't put anything in the notes column like the other offices do?
No,
We
if
don't
he,
get in
if,
and do that.
if he gave me notes, I could key those in, but I key
We
his
don't have
budget in.
access to that system.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that some of the offices will provide some notes to help, so we don't have to bother you and ask the question. So
Oh, I
if
don't care. Please bother me.
you've
I love
got
it.
a line item that needs a little explanation, just create a note, and then the auditor's office would make sure that got put in.
So Bob, how many pennies do you get?
How many what?
What's the total, how many pennies do we get from tax? Is it 4 or 5?
The innkeeper's tax is 5%.
It's 5%?
Yes.
Okay, so 1% of that came from the fairgrounds.
No, now let's not go there again, because that got you in trouble.
Well, I know, but no, I passed 1% for the fairgrounds, then we give it to you guys. So that's 20% of your money,
4 plus
actually.
1 is 20?
1 of 5?
Huh?
He's saying if the intent was to give the fairgrounds 1% out of 5, that would represent 20%
Okay,
of revenue.
so really.
I'm not saying you're not doing it, because
Well,
I'm looking
I'm
at the,
gonna-
I'm
only
looking
I'm
at
gonna
the
say to that
figures,
is-
and I'm saying you're trying to do what we originally intended to do, which actually that's a positive. You know
I'm
what I mean?
trying to do it the right way.
Yes, yeah, and I appreciate that, because we did give the money we were intended for the fairgrounds over to tourism, but you're giving it back like we intended. I'm not going to do the initial math, but it looks like it was supposed to happen. Yeah, so, no, I was trying to find something positive in the scenario there. You're actually doing what we agreed to.
We're doing
years
more.
ago. Yeah.
We're doing more. You know, the paved parking lot at the fairgrounds, 2018, $98,000.
Yeah.
Tourism paid for that. The bathrooms in the exhibition hall, $92,000. Tourism paid for that in 2019. Last year, $60,000 for the Pioneer Building floor to be paved. Tourism paid for that. The campsites that they have now, I saw when I was trying to work with them.
In the return of that, okay, what we're trying to do is increase hotel stay, because that's where all the money comes from.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we're trying to locate areas that why someone would come to Greenfield to stay in a hotel.
Kind of what we do, Kent, it's our lives.
And right now, the fairgrounds is the leader of that. That's not associated with construction or something else. Other items like, you know, that go on around here don't bring the continual amount in. And what I'd like to see us work towards is some way in the winter to keep that program going. And that's why, and I'm not worried about a convention center. I don't think we need another convention center that does conventions.
That's what I know they asked for.
Yeah, but I think it needs something that would bring people to the town during winter months for things not associated with an Eli Lilly convention or something.
Not the same thing somebody would choose a hotel. I mean, there's big events that are not appropriate for a hotel attached venue.
Absolutely.
And one of them is ag-related events.
And the only response that I can have to that, first of all, is the 4%, 1%, you know how that ended.
Yeah.
I came in as the treasurer in 2019, and the first thing I said was, what the hell's this? I'm reading all the policies and the code from the state. You can't do this. But I kept my mouth shut, but State Board of Accounts come in and they found it, and they said, stop that. So we did. Now, part of that agreement was that when we did that, we didn't have to, but we did, to play nice and get along. We agreed to $80,000 a year to the fairgrounds. If you look at those numbers, we've done much better than that.
Yes.
Now, that was the 1%, so we have exceeded that. But yet you still trash us. So just stuck on I don't understand.
Well, the fairgrounds should have their own tax rate to begin with, which should be.
They should, and that was something that got messed up a long time ago that probably should be fixed.
And that's like 600,000 a year.
But here's where the fairgrounds I take also very personal, because for 4 years, I practically lived with them. And I know you know that. I practically lived with them. I was out there putting in a lot of time, trying to help them with their financials, trying to help them understand what they needed to do to become a destination for tourists in this county. I've stood here at this podium and said it's a cash cow, and it is, but it has to run like a business. It can't run like somebody standing there with their hand out all the time wanting you to put money in it. They have to be able to prove they can operate like a business, and I told them that. I said, if you go to this county and you sit there and you show them that you can run in the black and you can make money, then they might be willing to help you. Because we don't have the money, the kind of money they need to really do something there. But where I struggle right now is they don't know what they need, but they think they do. Pay a consulting company. We offered to do it more than once. Invest in the damn place by getting somebody to come in there and say, this is what makes sense. Now, you said something ag-related. Right now, trending across the country, tourism's #1 trending area is life experiences. They want to know how to grow a garden. They want to know how to do this. They want to know how to do that. They want to bring their family somewhere where it's an experience, not just to walk and see how the hell you can spend a few bucks. They want an experience. That's what they want. Families are trying to be families again, and that's what we're trying to be a part of. We know a hell of a lot more about this than you guys do. I'm sorry, I'm not being an ass, but we do.
We're going to have some discussions outside of this meeting, so maybe that's more appropriate.
Yeah,
for
we've
that.
got a meeting
And
set up for next
next
week, and I told Jim I would be nice, and I'm doing my best to really be nice. But I was very offended by a couple things that took place. And I suffer because you really don't understand tourism. 2-3 months ago, there were some things being said here that were going on in tourism. You're going to find out those aren't true next week when we meet.
Well,
okay. So
if we're going to do something big for the community that means long-term tourism, it's going to take a coordination from everybody at every thing, because I mean, but we do have the capabilities of that happening. And so we either pass it by and just continue down the road like we've been, and then patch little buildings here and there, or we do something meaningful. And to break into that where we've already seen people's desire, like you said, people's desire to come and do something, okay, or come and see something, and so that's where we're at right now. We're at the beginning of that. I don't want to see it get bogged down by government regulations. I want to see us actually physically complete something. And I know it's tough. It's always tough at the beginning. But I think everybody has a desire somewhere down the line for the same goal. And no, it's not going to be totally funded by tourism.
Well, it can't be.
Right.
I mean, it can't be.
But
you know,
tourism has to be a part of it.
Tourism has to be a part of it. So does
Gentlemen,
probably.
we've got to finish our 2027 budget, and this is
Thanks,
the
Bob.
one item that's still
Thanks,
out.
Bob.
Do I have a motion?
We haven't passed his budget yet.
Well, I'll make a motion that we pass the tourism budget as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, Sheriff? Commissary?
So in your packet, you should have copies of 2 reports. The January through March is late. We missed it. We skipped it. So I'm presenting it now as well, along with the second quarter one, April through June 30th. And so I just want to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to and presenting our commissary fund reports. And so I just needs to be recognized. If you have any questions. One of them.
You just need a motion.
Accept them, that way it's in the record that they've been.
Second. Oh, go ahead.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Who was the first?
First was Kent Fisk, second was Scott Woodridge, 7-0.
Brad?
Yes.
Just one comment on the commissary. That's building up a lot of money.
Well,
I'm not complaining.
Sure, no.
Have you got something in mind?
Well, there's some cost that's going to come out of this for building, the new building, some of the FF&E costs that we didn't put into
Lifts or something?
Yeah, lifts, things like that are coming, air compressors is going to be coming out of that. The problem with commissary, though, is you're going to start seeing a considerable reduction in the revenue coming in because the FCC changed their rules. It was a federal thing to where you can't collect as much now on the phone calls and the texting and the tablets and all the things that they could used to do in the future. And so somebody filed suit, FCC changed it, federal rule, and so then the money is not coming in like it did before. So this won't, I mean, it looks big now, but it's going to continue to not go up.
You need more inmates.
Well, no, I don't need that either, but.
And one thing it said it can be used for like medical, mental health, wellness. Our head guy that runs our mental health programs has been funded through a grant through the Indiana Sheriff's Association, right? But if we ever suddenly found out that that money was poof disappearing, could we retain someone in that position if this is available for mental health?
You could. I mean, it's going to be a considerable amount of money to do that.
Just to float you a year or two to get it in your budget if you had to. Can you pay for that?
You could.
From a
Yeah, it's part of the
balance?
program because part of that commissary statute, there's 10 different things, and that programming piece is in there for that. So it would qualify.
So if any grants ever fell off related to our mental health programs, it would be a cushion to get us through a year.
To somewhere, yes. Yeah. Okay, so we're good with that. We're good with those two. All right, thank you. And secondly, I have on here, I just need to add, and this needs to be in the minutes. It doesn't necessarily have to be a resolution, but I guess I would need an approval. I want to add this item to my commissary fund. This falls in the statute under number 10. And utilize this for the wellness programs that we're actually doing at the sheriff's office.
What do you need?
The letter, you guys to see the letter, you guys see that? Do you have that?
We got it someplace here.
So basically, I just this needs to be added to my commissary list of things that I can utilize the commissary for. So this is what the sheriff and the council agrees upon, because it's not in statute.
So, I guess I'll make a motion that we allow this verbiage to be put in the statute or agree to the verbiage that's already in the statute. It gives you your guidelines for expenses for the commissary fund.
Pretty much, yeah. It means that we agree that I can utilize the commissary funds to utilize this. It's not any different than some of the other things I've come to you for in the past.
Looks fine to me.
So if that's a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a second to it then.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Next thing down here was review, revenue review. Mary, you, I think, responded to some questions and put together some info.
I did. Yes, you should have a copy in your packet. It should be a legal page. I think there were questions on the amount of revenue coming into some of the funds and the appropriations that were requested.
So did anyone look at it?
I did.
Robin?
Well, I'm not sure what the question is on that because all the funds that I saw, most of them are, it's donations and different things that come in, and they have to guess, basically, estimate what it's going to be the next year. And then they ask for that in their budget for the appropriation. But they all know that they can't spend any more than the cash that comes in. So I don't think there's a real issue with it. It's just, we have to appropriate something, so they estimate what it's gonna be, and if it's, they don't have enough cash, they don't spend it.
Yeah, what's the downside of doing it, I guess? Of putting a number in.
Well, we'd
higher.
have to just appropriate, every time they needed something, we'd have to
Yeah.
appropriate. Is that correct, Mary?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes, this just saves,
Be a lot of.
saves
red tape
time
for
in
nothing.
asking for the additional appropriation, holding
And
the
if they
public
try to
hearing.
spend more than they have, they'll get an immediate call from the auditor.
Right.
We wa,
That wasn't my bad.
she watches the cash very closely.
Well, unless there's some comments, why we'll go on. Can review it. Other old business. Of any auditor?
Yes, we have salary ordinance amendment, and what it is, these, hopefully this is gonna take care of the situation. I do have my payroll gals here if they wanna add anything, but this is because we have fluctuation in positions. The sheriff's deputies are moving around quite a bit to help them cover what their needs. So this should be our final draft to correct anything that's going on with our salary ordinance and allow us to shore up some issues that are we've been waiting on.
I saw it and it looked really complicated.
It's, I don't think that the sheriff's department is very easy, so I think it's complicated, and we've got the matrix, and I think that we're at a good point right now. So,
Are we voting on this, or?
we need a thumbs up to advertise.
Thumbs up to advertise?
Yes.
No.
No.
It's an ordinance.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry.
What's the ordinance number?
The ordinance number would be 2026-8A.
Okay.
I am so sorry.
All right, I make a motion to approve the ordinance before us of number 2026-8A as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pass. Anything else?
Yes, Etika, you guys had said that we could go ahead and pay these invoices out of food and beverage, and then they will be reimbursed. So there's another bill that has just come in for a total of $11,850. Nope, sorry, $7,850.
Yeah, 7,000. All right, I make a motion to approve the Etika invoice payment that will come originally from food and beverage and then be reimbursed from 2026 GO bond in the amount of $7,850.
That is
Perfect.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I make a motion to approve the minutes for June 3rd, 2026.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pass.
And I don't know why this is in my file.
Anything else?
Did we have a first and second on that last motion, please?
Those me and Ken.
Thank you.
Just to, we do have a meeting of the farm planning group next Wednesday at 1:30 at the Sheriff's Department. And we do have not combined, but a meeting with the HEDC and the council, some members of the council on the 27th. And I'd like us to think about completing the deal with the landing. You know, we gave them $150,000 of the $300,000 that they needed to buy their property. City of Greenfield did not jump in. They did have somebody come in with $30,000, so they're down to $120,000. So maybe in the future, we'd think about
I thought about that this
getting
morning.
them out
when
of
I was
debt.
Looking at all that, I thought we need to move forward on that.
That should probably go to the committee that we have. The Grants Committee. The Grants Committee. Should go to the Grants Committee first?
This would be separate from that,
It's,
I think.
well, I don't live in Greenfield. I live in the northwest corner, and I have no problem giving that kind of money to an organization that is in need. But with that grant committee, I was hoping to see that we are a little more open to other communities that have needs as well that we don't hear about or see.
Sure.
But we tend to always know about and see that are located here in Greenfield. So I prefer that it does go through the grant committee.
Okay.
That's my one opinion.
Okay.
I just thought we ought to
Just
take some
throwing it out.
action.
Didn't they
on it.
open a location in Fortville or they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they have.
I don't know
They
that.
have.
There's a
Yeah,
group
they
there, I
have.
think.
And if,
They
you know,
have.
I'd like to just hear a little bit more. I don't, other than the landing,
They're
I know nothing.
countywide.
Other than the name of it, I don't know anything about it.
You want to go there with me?
I'll go with you.
Let's go.
What are we gonna do?
I think that would have to.
Do they have food? I'm getting hungry.
I'm gonna say they have pictures online of the, you know, if you can't go, the inside, once they did that and got the remodeling done, and it's.
It's another
Were
thing
they in
that
the
we're
building,
doing the city.
were they in the building that got torn down by the city?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the landing, so
Yeah.
I went to a
Yeah.
birthday party there for a little.
Just wanted to throw that out for thought, not for vote.
Yeah, I just want to spread the,
If we can want to kick it, then we kick
I don't want to forget that the whole county should get a proportionate share of granted type monies.
And maybe at the council, because I know that they created the committee, because there were certain organizations just getting money every year, right? Via the county, and it was just kind of a default. And so that was in the commissioner's budget, and you guys are revamping that. I haven't heard much about it. But beyond what happens through that process, if we need to define on council when there's other one-off things that we want to discuss from food and beverage, what the criteria is, what's the filter that runs through, is it geography, right? And making sure it's equally distributed?
Yeah,
We
I
could
know
come up with
Fortville
that.
has talked about now for a few years wanting to reestablish a senior citizens, I'm not sure what they call it, but they used to have a place
Center.
open that, just a
A
center,
center.
yes, that
Yeah.
they could go there and meet other people, and maybe there's a lunch provided, or they play cards, or it's just a place for them to hang out. And I would love to see that become something that I know they could use up there, but how do they get involved with the process of a grant?
Just come in and ask.
Ask who?
I see this as separate with our food and beverage money, frankly.
Yeah. that would be
One-time
something.
expenditures, what the grant committee
One-time
took over is
expenditure, yeah,
happening
no
every year in the
Yeah.
budget.
But we've
Right.
already done it one time. What do you
Yeah.
mean by how
That's
to
right.
do that?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the new one you're talking.
I think
Oh, the one that I
it also has to
know.
go through the
Yeah.
commissioners
As long
too
as
for
they
their
understood.
approval.
And of course, the
Yeah.
landing.
Food and
has-
beverage
I'd love to see
money
what criteria, and I
expenditures do
could
not,
take it
these
to
aren't
my-
annual recurring
do
budgeted.
their thing.
I know, but it's
That
still,
we
it's
don't
still
have
preference
that
that
in
they get their
the
feedback on
process.
things.
I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
But when you say something has to, the
Well,
council's allowed
I'll
to spend
rephrase
food and
that then.
beverage money.
I'll rephrase that. It'd be preferred to get their opinion, to have their opinion on things like that.
Right.
I don't disagree with that.
Has anyone created a worksheet for the grant money to,
There is one.
where is it?
There's a process that, no, we need to establish a meeting because we have standard operating procedures and policies that we need to decide upon as the committee, so that we can put that out there for people who know how to, so they'll know how to use
I would
it.
like
Well, and
to see
I do
that.
want to point out on the committee, my understanding on the city council at Greenfield was that committees that are created in a public meeting are created from the bench. And that was a committee of the commissioner. So they selected an appointee at their discretion from the council to be on that. But we've never appointed we've never at the council talked about forming a grant committee. We've never appointed one.
We did, we
did.
voted for me and Clark.
Yeah, you guys took
I
official
think I was
action.
pushed onto that. I think it's one of those committees that got, you're doing it, okay.
There was official action. I mean,
But we don't put senior citizens' transportation through that.
No,
And
it's
so, you know, there's some,
Exceptions.
there's
But senior
differences. There are
citizens
differences.
affects the whole county.
Yes.
They're already engaged with transportation and provide services to all the residents of the county.
And 70% Greenfield.
Well, the majority is.
The landing is
Greenfield.
probably
All Greenfield.
countywide too.
Well,
Well, and the landing,
would
you
don't-
have to remember, that's
Well, you
opioid.
don't, you've
So
got
some of
your
these
own
other
car.
things.
I've got my own car, true. I do have a car. But
think
anyway,
we're-
I'm just trying to help get the money available to the
Yes.
entire county, big or small.
Understand.
I agree.
Wherever they're
And
located.
there's
I
lot,
agree.
there's more requests than just that.
Understand.
We've had lots of requests already that have come before the grants committee.
Well, I'd like to see the application and know how to get that information out then.
Yeah, we absolutely need to sit down and have, this is the process, this is what needs to be followed, and everyone needs to agree upon that process before we can put it out there. So, I mean, that's something that we need to iron out soon.
So can we
But
start
we were
that?
kind of holding off until after the budget was approved, so that we knew when to tell them to come in for 2027.
Are you saying that's something that needs to happen with the council or with the grant committee?
You know
Great.
what? I'll type it up and put it wherever you want me to put it, so, and you guys decide where it needs, who needs to be in charge of it.
What you mean?
What we
Yeah,
talked
I
about
don't
the
care.
last,
I just want to see the ball start rolling, so.
what we talked about was getting, because we started with the opioid monies, and then we met and said, and Deborah said, we get these SOPs, and then so that way, when the budget is approved, we're ready to roll them out. So I think our next action is we'll make sure we get those SOPs. Let
What's
you
an
all
SOP?
Standard operating procedure.
Okay,
And then, once we have the budget approved, then we can post what the application is, and that way you all and the public will know exactly what the steps are.
okay.
And you left the budget, refresh my memory, it was the combined total of last year's is just one lump budget now, right?
Correct.
Is that a number that's a calculation derived from any particular variable, like a percentage of a certain revenue stream?
I think it was adding all the ones, you took them
Right.
all out and added them all together.
So that's another consideration too, is like annually, how do we, if you get twice that much in applications that you want to fund, like where are we deriving the number from? Or is it just a flat rate that will remain the same each year?
It'll be year
In your
to year.
operating procedures for consideration.
Well, I think it's part of the commissioner's budget, so I think a lot of it, the commissioners will set it as part of their budget, and then part of our review will say whether we agree or disagree.
I think we're adjourned.
Sounds like a plan.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Smith? Greg?